You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, 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 yo. Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. We got some things to talk about today. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Y'all know what time it is. Doctor's in the house. We here. We got my, hey, I see some people in here that I need to be in here today, because today we about to go in a little bit. So there's some things that we got to talk about. Let me fix my green screen. My green screen looking all cracky. See if it look a little better. It's a little better. All right. Yeah, man. So, let's get it popping, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit this roll call real quick. We got Pierre in the building. We got Mike Mazik in the building. Hey, definitely need Mike in here. We got my boy Ty Morissette in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, let's get it, man. Let's get it. Y'all know I don't watch the NFL like that, but I got to have my little Seahawks, you know what I'm saying? A little Seahawks beanie because it's around that time. But yeah, if we get started, man, let's go ahead and hit these prayer real quick, man. I apologize for the tardiness, man. I had some things going on. And yeah, but we here now, man. Good Lord willing. So and thank God for that. So please bow your head. Join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for bringing us into this work week, this Monday. Lord, please let us step into, you know, if our work week is starting today, you know, some people start on the weekends, but if it's starting today, like most, please guide us into this work week with as little frustration as possible. Give us as much patience as possible and as much understanding with not just our co-workers, but also ourselves, you know, whether give us the strength to treat people properly, whether they are our superiors or our inferiors, Lord. Please let us lead with patience, lead by example, and be example to others that are watching, because you never know who is observing your ways and your antics and your actions and looking to replicate those for good or for worse, for better or for worse, and hopefully it's for good as opposed to bad. So please let us recognize our power, not just in our physical strength, but also in our influence, and do our best to make you proud as opposed to work off a solely ego and pride. But also let us recognize that pride is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of time it's a good thing because it allows you to recognize your own worth and won't allow you to falter from your position and settle for anything less. So please let us maximize our image on ourself, our image of self, while also putting forth a good image for others to observe and follow if need be. In Jesus' name, we ask you for forgiveness for our sins, and we ask you for your continued grace, mercies, patience, and love. Amen. He said, "F the Eagles." F the Eagles, boy. Hey, it's hard out there for the Eagles, man. You know, for non-Eagle fans. You know, I don't watch. I'm lost when it comes to football, but speaking of something I do observe, and that's basketball, man. There has been some shaking. There's been a bomb drop for the WNBA, man. I'm talking about drop the bombs. I know my boy Mike know what I'm talking about, bro. So there's a three-team trade, and the deal is that Kelsey Plum is leaving the Las Vegas Aces, man. They separated my dogs, Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray and all them. Ah, man, that hurt my heart. And Jackie Young, that hurt my heart, man. I like that little core they had. But Kelsey Plum is going to the Los Angeles Sparks, joining the baddest thing walking in WNBA, man. My boo, Rakia Jackson and Cameron Brink. You know, I'm talking about who brinked up her knee. You know, that they just got stronger. The LA Sparks got stronger with Kelsey Plum addition, you know, and De'Erica Hamby. And then I do believe that Kelsey Plum is going to leave a void, but they got Jewel Lloyd for the Seattle Storm. That's going to, I think they got stronger as well. You know, now you have Jewel Lloyd with Jackie Young and Asia Wilson, and they got better as well. Not saying that Jewel Lloyd is necessarily better than Kelsey Plum or Kelsey Plum is better than Jewel Lloyd, but I think that they will complement the teams that they went to a little bit better. You know, Kelsey Plum's not going to be as, her presence may be missed, but as far as her skill on the court, I think Jewel Lloyd will supplement that and may even exceed that, you know. And then also, well, I was gonna say, I don't know what the Seattle Storm's gonna do with Skylar Diggins and Neka Agumake. I don't know what they're gonna do to get stronger, but you know, there's some moves in the WNBA, man. But let's go to this to boxing, man. Talk about these moves, man. I'm gonna get right into it, man. So over the weekend, you know, well, it wasn't weekend for us because it was Friday, you know, early in the morning. So it wasn't quite the weekend yet, but we see NAOYA INOUE take on Yi Jun Kim. Well, before we get, let's go to the weekend. You know, we had Diego Pacheco versus Steven Soko Nelson. A great fight, fantastic fight. I knew it was going to be a good fight, but it even, not only did it meet my expectations, it exceeded my expectations. And shout out to Diego Pacheco. You know, we predicted that, well, I predicted that it was going to be a win for Diego Pacheco by unanimous decision. And that's exactly what it was. You know, I thought the scorecards were a little wide, 117 to 111, because that reflects a round count of 9 rounds to 3. I don't see how you could give Steven Soko Nelson only 3 rounds. To me, my scorecard, I had Soko Nelson winning the first 3 rounds. So you're telling me after the first 3 rounds, he didn't win another round after that? I think that's kind of ridiculous. But most importantly, the most important part is that I think that they got the result right. You know, the victor was Diego Pacheco. I think he won, but I thought he won 7 rounds to 5, or 115, 113, a strong 115, 113, maybe 116, 112, but 117, 111 unanimously by all 3 judges. That's a little ridiculous. You know, the fix was in. So it seems like Steven Soko Nelson was probably going to have to knock out Diego Pacheco to win. But yeah, Diego Pacheco looked impressive. They were both undefeated. Somebody's O's had to go, and there was a guy from Omaha's, and, you know, he left his O in Omaha. You know. But yeah, man, I thought he looked good. You know, older fighter, 36 years old. I thought he performed very well, and he shook up Diego Pacheco in that last round. Diego Pacheco, I don't know why he took off the 11th round. And that's the thing too. If Steven Nelson got the first 3 rounds, and Diego Pacheco clearly took off the 11th round, how the heck did he not at least get 4? I don't understand. 4 rounds, but anyway, it was a good fight. Like I said, Steven Soko, he had to show some grit. He came out like in Bison, and he did his thing, man. But Diego Pacheco, man, I think Diego Pacheco's the truth, man. This is a major step. I think after Canelo, I might have him as a 2nd or 3rd best super middleweight. For me personally, it's Canelo number 1, Caleb Plant number 2, And then I might lean, before I wasn't sure if it was Diego Pacheco, Christian and Billy, Edgar Berlanga, but I'm going with Diego Pacheco for sure now. And yeah, he looked very good, man. And it looked like at times he could have stopped Steven So Cold Nelson, man. And if he would have stopped him, that would have been a huge statement. But shout out to Diego Pacheco. Do I think Diego Pacheco beats Canelo? Because that's the gold standard, right? You know, that's an aim. That's what everybody wants, is if you're between 154 pounds and 175 pounds, maybe not so much 175 now with Beterbiev Bivol, but 154 to 168 for sure. You're looking at Canelo. Everybody wants to fight Canelo, right? So do I think that Diego Pacheco could do something with Canelo? I think it'll be interesting, but I think Canelo beats him, and I think Canelo won't get credit, just like he didn't get credit for Jaime Munguia, you know. But speaking of that, man, shout out to Oscar Perez, man, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
He said KC back to back. Trump tariff gonna be back. Shout out to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, you know, and Patty Mahomes. You know what I'm talking about? He said, I work at the Veterans Memorial Hospital right now. I know the Eagles won and all, but whose bright idea was to bring a bald eagle? What? Bring a bald eagle into the clinical areas? He said white people. Yeah, that's crazy. Aces got better. I agree, Mike. I agree. NPR in the building was good. Appreciate that, Oscar. But yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I don't think Diego Pacheco does anything with Canelo, and I don't think Canelo would get too much credit for beating him, you know. And speaking of credit, man, you know how funny people are, and they're so stingy with credit, right? They're so stingy giving fighters their props, you know. And I don't have to name the fighters that they're stingy with. Y'all know who they are. But and I don't have to name the people who are stingy with their credit, and very one-sided with their credit, and very contradictory and hypocritical and damn near idiotic with their credit. You know, I ain't gotta name those people. They know who they are. You know, that's far and wide. I'm not talking about anybody. Well, yeah, I'm talking. If the shoe fits, the shoe fits. So I'm not sparing anybody. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm not talking about anybody on this channel in particular. But you know, of course, there's some here too. But you know, NAOYA INOUE moved up in the pound for pound rankings, chat. He moved up. I want to show y'all before I talk about it. I want to show y'all. Yeah, that would be NAOYA INOUE right here, number 2. They have NAOYA INOUE number 2. They moved him up so fast. They moved up NAOYA INOUE so fast. They didn't even get his record right. He's not 28-0. He's 29-0. They moved him up so fast. They couldn't wait to move him up. Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Am I tripping? Is he 28-0 or 29? He's 29-0, right? Yeah, he's 29-0. Yeah, he's 29. Yi Jun Kim was his 29th win, right? They moved him up so fast, they didn't even get his record right. So he moved up to number 2 from beating Yi Jun Kim. Yi Jun Kim moved him up to number 2, chat. Yeah, okay. So if I ask you before Friday who Yi Jun Kim is, there's only one appropriate answer. You would say,
who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? No damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
shout out to the South Korean fighter Yi Jun Kim. Don't forget to smack that like button, y'all. But my thing is this, though. Eddie Hearn came out and he said that he thinks NAOYA INOUE should be dropped off the pound for pound list. First of all, I like Eddie Hearn, but being dropped off the pound for pound list, that's crazy. That's some straight bullshit. That's BS, right? However, I will say this though. Eddie Hearn, I understand his position and I understand why he's mad, but NAOYA INOUE is a beast. Let's not get it twisted. Or he's a monster, right? NAOYA INOUE is a monster. He's a great fighter. He's an all-time great in my opinion. 2 times undisputed. You can't argue with that. However, he's not immune to critiques. He's not infallible. And he's obviously not a symbol of integrity when it comes to the sport. In fact, it's the opposite right now. So Eddie Hearn said that he should be removed from the list. I think Eddie Hearn is tripping, especially when Eddie Hearn. Let's go back to the list. Eddie Hearn has 2 guys that are higher than they should be, you know, and Dimitri Bivol and Jesse Bam Rodriguez. But number 1, Alexander Usyk. Even if we're a prisoner of the moment, a recency bias, I'm cool with Alexander Usyk being number 1. He deserves it, man. He fought Tyson Fury twice for undisputed. The first time for heavyweight, second time he beat him again. He's the first undisputed heavyweight in 25 years. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alexander Usyk. You can't argue with that, right? Plus, he was outweighed by 50 pounds. Now, it's different because you're heavyweight, right? So when you're heavyweight, there's no limit. And that's how it should be, because once you get a certain size, sometimes the size could work backwards for you, right? We see that sometimes. Look at Gustavo Limos, came in 6 pounds heavy. It didn't help him, you know. Sometimes the extra weight, the extra size can work adversely, you know, it work against you, but especially at the heavyweights, because remember Nikolai Valuev, the guy that was like 7 feet, he wasn't an all-time great, because sometimes you lose coordination, you lose speed. So just being bigger is not always better, you know. No one looks at a Great Dane and says they're the best fighting dogs, right? So same here, you know. Now there are some mastiffs that are more capable of fighting and protecting than others, but just because you're a Great Dane don't mean that you're the best fighter just because you're bigger. So I think that applies here to heavyweight, but still overcoming 50-pound weight gap is crazy. So Alexander Usyk being number 1, I have no problem. I think he should be number 1. He's number 1 on my list. But let me go to number 2. He has moved. He also moved from number 1 down from number what? Those rankings are from the beginning of January. NAOYA fought after then. No, he just moved up to number 2, James. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why y'all like to like y'all know I really do this, right? Like I don't know, like y'all know I really do this, right? Like I don't know. Anyway, he also moved down from number 1 after Usyk beat Fury. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, Terrence Crawford was number 2. This just got updated, and Alexander Usyk was number 1 and Terrence Crawford was number 2, and NAOYA was number 3. NAOYA just got moved up to number 2. I don't know what you're talking about. Diego had a decent performance. That was spots he should have capitalized on that he left in the ring that night. Once Nelson, who came on strong early, was cut, Diego was able to coast to a win. Let's entertain what's his name? Let's entertain James. Maybe James is right. Maybe I could have overlooked something. Sometimes I do overlook things. Let's see. Maybe I did overlook. Let's see. No, I didn't overlook. This is update. Ring Magazine updated an hour ago. With the win over Yi-Ju Kim, the Ring number 2 pound for pound fighter NAOYA INOUE has proved he is a monster. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. NAOYA is in good company back when the Ring debuted his number 1 pound for pound rankings. NAOYA currently holds number 2. I don't know what you're saying. So you're saying that this is wrong? I don't get what you're saying, James. I'm not sure what you're saying. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. I don't know what you're saying. He's saying that ring rankings are released at the beginning of each month. Absolutely, yes, absolutely, they are. So you're saying that this is wrong? I'm confused. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not gonna lie. It looks real bicky on that list, especially knowing you can easily look back at the rankings by month and week. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. I'm not sure. Yo, we got my boy Dub in the building, but anyway, you got to go through that. As long as you know, that's important. That's what's important. You know, are you saying that he wasn't moved to number 2? Maybe. Are you saying that he was never number 3? Maybe that's what you're saying. Are you saying he wasn't number 3? Can we find that out? I'm not gonna lie. If he was, then anyway, it was number 2 in December 2024. Okay. So you're saying, okay, let's see. Ring Magazine. Let's see. Rankings. I don't know how to look back. How do you? Is there a way to look back? How can you look back? I wish I could look back. So yeah, okay. So you're saying that NAOYA has been number 2. You're saying Terrence Crawford was never number 2. So you're saying he didn't move from beating Yi-Ju Kim. Round 1 in the building. How do I? Yeah, I think he was moved up. I don't even know how to find how it was. I wish I took a screenshot or something. I'm saying Mickey with the new places, but they don't always wait till they don't always wait till the end of the month. That's what I'm trying to see if I could show that. So I definitely I don't definitely know. I'd rather show it than say something definitively and then be wrong, because I could be wrong. But I don't even know how to go back and look like before the fight. I don't even know where I would find that information at, to be honest. Because yo, Ryan Frazier in the building. Inoue was number 1. Yes, Usyk was number 1 for a while. Usyk was number 1 since he beat Tyson Fury, which he should be. But he's telling me that Crawford was never number 1. So I want to see that. And I don't know how. I wish I could go back to like an old publication of the Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine rankings from let's just see if I can put in a date. January 2024. Let's see if I can put in a date. I don't want to see the latest ones. I want to see the one from Ring Magazine Awards, who will win Fight of the Year. Ring Magazine's top 10 rankings. I'm trying to see 4 weeks ago. Let's see. This is 4 weeks ago. The best 30-1. This is Instagram. Though. I don't trust this one. Yeah, this is from 4 weeks ago, but I don't trust this one because they have number 6 for Jesse Bam Rodriguez, number 6 for Canelo. Yeah, so that's different. Yeah, I don't think this is this is at the beginning of the month. Right? So I don't know if this is real anyway, but if it is, then that proves that it changed. So what James is saying is wrong if that's real, but I don't want to believe that one because that's just Instagram. I want to see something a little bit more definitive than that, because everyone, yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably subjective, but I want to show him that Ring Magazine does not change. It changes. It doesn't just change. It changes at least once a month. It doesn't just change once a month, but we'll see. We'll see. Give me a second, chat. I'm back. He was coming off of EJ boxing. Let's have a list. Crawford was probably number 1 after be expensive, not before. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he was number 2. Man, I don't know where to find it, bro. But anyway, if someone could find that for me, I'd appreciate it, bro. Where Terrence Crawford was number 2 and Usyk was number 1 and Inoue was number 3. If someone could find that for me, it'll be greatly appreciated. See, this is old right here where Terrence Crawford's number 1. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's put a random date. Anyway, I can't find it, man. But anyway. You know what? That was definitely recent. When Usyk was 1 and Bud was, yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find that, Ty. I just can't. I don't know how to find it because James thinks that Terrence Crawford he thinks that he thinks this was a list from the beginning of January, and it wasn't, because Jesse Bam Rodriguez was placed over him after that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I showed it on one of my streams. That's too much work. But anyway. NAOYA INOUE is ranked number 2. I have Inoue number 2 because he's more active than Bud. Right, and that's the problem right there. So So Usyk is number 1 and Inoue is number 2, right? So Inoue is number 2, and I think that's wild. I think that is crazy because Inoue being number 2 off of quantity, yes, I get it. Quantity is cool, but quantity is not quality ever. And just being active is not justifiable enough. You have to look at who they fought. Inoue just fought Yi Jun Kim. So I think he should be top 3. Yes, Inoue should be 3. He should be top 3, but he should be number 3 because you just fought Yi Jun Kim on a 10-day notice. No one knew who you no one knew who Yi Jun Kim is. You see what I'm saying? So with Yi-Ju Kim, let's look at his last 3 opponents. Yi-Ju Kim already lost, right? No one knew who he was. That's who NAOYA INOUE just beat, and he's at number 2. Before that, he fought TJ Doheny. TJ Doheny had 4 losses before losing to NAOYA INOUE. NAOYA INOUE was his 5th loss. Before that, he fought Louis Neary. Louis Neary got knocked out by Brandon Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa lost to Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton got knocked out by NAOYA INOUE. So he beat a guy that lost to a guy that he knocked out, that lost to a guy that the guy he knocked out beat, that got knocked out by a guy that lost to a guy that he knocked out beat. I know that's a lot, right, to keep up with. But so those are his last 3 opponents. Israel Madrimov alone is better than all 3 of those opponents combined. Israel Madrimov was a champion. TJ Doheny and Louis Neary weren't even ranked. Neither was Yi-Ju Kim. He wasn't ranked highly, right? Israel Madrimov was an undefeated champion at a new weight division. That means something. So, and not only that, Terrence Crawford is 37 years old. So people say, oh, he's inactive. Bitch, he's 37. Of course, he's going to be less active. But let's look at this right here, right? NAOYA INOUE has 29 wins, right? NAOYA INOUE is how old? 31? Let's see how old NAOYA INOUE is. NAOYA INOUE is what? 31 years old, right? NAOYA INOUE is 31 years old, right? 31, right? Terrence Crawford is what? 37? So Terrence Crawford is 37. NAOYA INOUE is 31, right? So NAOYA INOUE has 29 wins. Terrence Crawford has 41. I guarantee you, by the time they're done fighting, Terrence Crawford would have more fights than NAOYA INOUE. So if we're talking about quantity, yes, Terrence Crawford is less active more recently, but was he always less active throughout the duration of his career? Or is it just recent? So I'm willing to take that bet with anybody. Anybody in the chat want to take forever much you want. I guarantee you, when they retire, Terrence Crawford will have more fights than NAOYA INOUE. So everybody wants to scream about activity, right? Because if Terrence Crawford is fighting guys we never heard of, what would we say? We would say, oh, he's not fighting nobody. Oh, this person's not fighting anybody. Let's look at Canelo, right? Canelo right here is ranked number 7. When Canelo beat Jaime Munguia, people were talking trash about that. Jaime Munguia was ranked highly. Jaime Munguia was an undefeated young upcoming bull. TJ Doheny's not undefeated, nor is he upcoming, nor is he ranked highly, and nor is he young. TJ Doheny's like 36. And he had 4 losses. But no one cared about that because of NAOYA INOUE, right? Saul Canelo Alvarez fought who'd he fight? Edgar Berlanga, undefeated knockout artist, right? People said he was cherry picking. What the freak is Yi-Ju Kim? What is Yi-Ju Kim? You know what I'm saying? And you can say, oh, well, Sam Goodman didn't fight. He wasn't supposed to be fighting Sam Goodman anyway. He's supposed to be fighting MJ Akhmadaliev. MJ Akhmadaliev is the one that was ordered. So no matter how you cut it, no matter how you slice it, how the freak do you move up from fighting Yi-Ju Kim? And even if, let's say, James Taylor is right and he was number 2, which he wasn't, he's not right. I'm gonna find it. Don't worry, I'm gonna find it. Just make sure you're here when I find it, because I'm gonna find it. I don't know why y'all. I do this for real. Like, but anyway, NAOYA INOUE is number 2. Even if he was number 2, he should move down. Yi-Ju Kim you should lose credit for fighting Yi-Ju Kim. You should be number 3. I think Alexander Usyk number 1, Terrence Crawford number 2, NAOYA INOUE number 3, Beterbiev number 4. I'm cool with that. You know, that's cool. He's an undisputed light heavyweight. Number 5, Dimitri Bivol is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Ring Magazine is becoming kind of a... I like Dimitri Bivol. I thought Dimitri Bivol beat Beterbiev, but on paper he lost. How the heck is he above Canelo Alvarez? I don't care if you beat him or not. This is not a 1v1 list, right? This is a pound for pound, meaning what you accomplished, who you fought, when you fought him, and how you performed, right? Dimitri Bivol, he beat Canelo pretty handily. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody would argue that. But he beat Canelo coming up. Canelo was going to 175. Canelo has no business in the 175-pound division. He was moving up, chasing greatness, right? So he beat him, yeah, but he beat him a long time ago. So last time I checked, he lost his opportunity to get undisputed. Canelo Alvarez was the first ever undisputed at 168. So to me, Canelo should be number 4 or 5. Whether you want to have number 4 above Beterbiev or number 5 below Beterbiev, I think that's interchangeable. It doesn't really matter to me because they're both undisputed. I personally would have Beterbiev number 4 for recency bias again, and I would have Canelo number 5. So I think that I think Canelo should leapfrog Bam Rodriguez and Dimitri Bivol. Then you have Jesse Bam Rodriguez at number 6. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is not even unified. How the heck is he above Canelo Alvarez? He hasn't been a champion for as long as Tank. How is he above Tank? And if we are giving him credit because he's a one belt champion, then why is Juto Nakatani number 9? What's the difference between Juto Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez? The difference is that Juto Nakatani has more fights, and Juto Nakatani fought better people. Now Jesse Bam Rodriguez fought more famous people. He fought a legend in Juan Francisco Estrada, who's an older fighter, and he was looked at as over the hill, right? But we act like he beat a legend in his prime. He didn't. He beat Carlos Cuadras, another guy that was over the hill. To me, his best win was Sonny Edwards. That was a great win. But I could say Juto Nakatani beat a former champion in Andrew Maloney. I could say Juto Nakatani beat a former champion in Alessandro Santiago. So like these guys, not even to mention what he did to Vincent Astrolabio, he destroyed Vicente Astrolabio in 1 round. So if you're gonna have Jesse Bam Rodriguez number 6, why is Juto Nakatani number 9? He should be moved up too. Then you should put Juto Nakatani above Gervonta Davis and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference between Juto Nakatani and Jesse Bam Rodriguez? I just don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then if you're going to have Dimitri Bivol on here, because and you're only going to knock him down, 1, because he lost to Beterbiev, then Tyson Fury should be on the list, because Tyson Fury only lost to the number 1 guy. I don't care if he lost once, twice, 3 times a lady. I don't care how many times he lost. He only lost to 1 guy, and that guy is Alexander Usyk. And Usyk is number 1. So if you're going to put Dimitri Bivol all the way at number 5, then Tyson Fury should at least be number 10 or number 9 or number 8. So to me, this list is fugazi, bro. Like, I think it should be Usyk number 1, Terence Crawford number 2, Inoue number 3, Beterbiev number 4, Canelo number 5, Tank number 7, Tank number 6, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. I don't even think he should be number 7. I think David Benavidez should be number 7, even though he's not a champion, but we know, he has some hardships trying to get title fights. I think David Benavidez should be on this list. Then number 7, number 8 could be Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Number 9, I think Juto Nakatani's fine at number 9. Devin Haney, number 10. To be real with you, I think Devin, if we're gonna look at the results for what they were, and get out your freaking feelings and your emotions like a little bitch, if you take that out of your system, take the estrogen out your system, because it's really unbecoming of a man. If you really take the estrogen out your system and literally look at what it was, he's 31-0 because that fight was a no contest with Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia cheated. He came in overweight and had PEDs in the system. So if you really want to be real, then Devin Haney should be like number 8 or number 7. He should be above Jesse Bam Rodriguez and Juto Nakatani and Dimitri Bivol, if you really want to be real about it. But if you want to go by what you saw and dismiss and be dismissive of the cheating allegations and the overweight and the PEDs, then you could put him as number 10. Wait, round 1 said, where's Shakur? Exactly. Where's Shakur? Where's Shakur, bro? What about Jai Pataya? Where's Jai Pataya? Where's Zurdo Ramirez? Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Where's Oscar Collazo? I know we don't care about the smaller weights, but he's unified at minimum weight. He's unified at 105 right now. But you have Bam Rodriguez at number 6 above Canelo. Bro, like, this list is great. But Bam Rodriguez is with Eddie Hearn, Dimitri Bivol's with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn's with Big Turk. So it just looks like I was hoping that Big Turk would kind of make it more. I'm not saying that pound for pound lists are ever perfect. This is not a bad list. Let me be clear. Let me back up a little bit. This is not a bad list. But it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's a bad list. It just doesn't make sense. And if you're gonna put Juto and where's Daniel Dubois? Daniel Dubois had a great year. So if you want to talk about recency bias, Daniel Dubois should be on this list. Recency bias? Nobody. There's very few people who had a better year than Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois was an underdog against Jerome Baby Miller. Stopped him. He was an underdog against Philip Hergovich. Stopped him. He was an underdog against Anthony Joshua. Stopped him. Especially if he beats Joseph Parker. Come on now. I'm just saying. It just doesn't make sense. When you break this list down, it doesn't make sense, bro. It just looks like you're just throwing people on here. Like, this list, like, it's not a bad list from a personnel standpoint. It just doesn't make sense. What about Rafael Espinosa at 126? If he's on here, I mean, Rafael Espinosa, look what he just did to Robisi Ramirez. Whether I think he threw a little bit too many elbows in there, you know what I'm saying? That he should have been called for those. But if you want to look for what it was, he stopped Robisi Ramirez and he made him. I don't want to say he made him quit because those are some elbows, but that's what happened. He made him quit. So I mean, should Rafael Espinosa be on here? I mean, if other non-unified one belt holders are on here, like Jesse Bam Rodriguez, all the way number 6, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, bro. Pound for pound has been relevant since Floyd. I'm telling you, my boy Dub, you hit it right on the head. So it's just like I can't make sense. You know, I like to break things down and make sense of it. There's no way that this can make sense. Espinosa to move up, move his tall ass up and fight Navarrete. Nah, let Espinosa stay where he at. Kind of hard because I got Shakur at number 8, Devin number 9, and Tank number 10. And I'm not mad at that round 1. I disagree with that a lot, but I'm not mad at that. I thought the rankings include the power of schedule, and it's not. It's about who won last week. Exactly, Dub. Thank you. It's about who won last weekend. That's my point. That's my point right there, Dub. It's about who won last weekend. It's not about your strength of schedule. So we could talk about, yeah, oh, this guy's more active and active. He fought Yi Jun Kim on 10 days notice, bro. Who cares? Because if Terrence Crawford fought a Yi Jun Kim caliber guy, they would say, oh, he's not fighting nobody. But because it's NAOYA Inoue and it's like people are afraid. Like, I don't know what he got going on. Like, I don't know if he got gang members pulling up on you. I don't know if he got mafia members pulling up on you, running down on. If you talk bad about NAOYA Inoue, it's like people come out the woodworks and I don't know if they're gonna chop you up and put you in acid or something. I don't know, hydrochloric acid. I don't know what's gonna happen, but like NAOYA Inoue, I'm sorry, like, I think he's bona fide number 3, and people think that's an insult. I'm saying NAOYA Inoue is bona fide number 3 because he is a monster. He is a great fighter, but there's no rhyme or reason to put him number 2 because he beat Yi Jun Kim. It doesn't make sense. And please, someone find for me. Bodo's ranked number 2 with the ring in May 6th when he dropped down from number 1 and again in September 2nd. Thank you, Ty. Please show me the picture because James says, to be fair, James does. Shout out to my boy James. James said that he was number 2 since beating who did he beat last? TJ Doheny, right? That's what James saying. James saying that he's been number 2 since he beat TJ Doheny, and that's completely false. But let's see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but you know, because we all make mistakes. But I don't think so. We got Loy in the building. He said, as an Inoue only fan, Inoue should be ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, I'm not mad at that. Shout out to Loy. I'm not mad at that, bro. Hey, to be honest, I don't even why Crawford's still on the power for list. Still, when he active and what? Wait, what? Infinity Boxes. I'm trying to make sense. He said, to be honest, I don't even see why maybe Crawford's still on the pound for pound list when he ain't even active or whatever. He's not even active. He just fought in August and he fought at a new weight division at 150. Like, I don't like that. That's the thing that's just disturbing. You know what I'm saying? Because people will say shit like that. And to be frankly, I'm not gonna lie. No disrespect to Infinity Boxing, but you sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? What you just said was straight bullshit. Out of everybody we just had on this list, this guy says that the number 3 guy in Terrence Crawford, who's 41-0, who just beat Israel Madrimov at a new weight class, he says he doesn't understand why Terrence Crawford's on the list. And that's what I be talking about right there. So on this channel, we protect not only boxing, but I protect cultures as well, because it seems like it's easier to go at certain fighters of certain cultures. So Terrence Crawford not being on the list, I ain't gonna lie. I can't even say it. We're Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya will say it best.
You dumbass.
This man said This man said Terrence Crawford shouldn't be on the list. And I'm not picking on Infinity Box. I'm just telling the truth. How can Terrence Crawford, who is undisputed in 2 weight classes, just like NAOYA Inoue, just like the guy that's number 1, Alexander Usyk, you're saying for some reason Terrence Crawford shouldn't be on the list when he shares 2 accolades with the number 1 guy that's being undisputed in 2-weight division? But for Terrence Crawford, that doesn't matter, right? You don't understand why he's on the list because he's 37 years old and he has 1 fight per year. Okay. But you understand how NAOYA Inoue is on the list. They both have they're both pound for pound undisputed in 2-weight divisions, and you can't even name 4 people. I guarantee you, without Google. Matter of fact, and I'm gonna count to 10. Give me 4 people that NAOYA Inoue fought off the top of your head without Google. I'm gonna count to 10. 1, 2, 3. I give you $100. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna wait a little bit because you're gonna say, oh, the delay, right? The delay in the stream. So I'm gonna give you an extra 5 more seconds just for the delay. They account for that, you know, because I don't have a delay on my. I mean, I have like a 3-second delay on my thing, but I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. You can't do it. You can't do it because you don't watch boxing. Because the only way that you can make a statement like that is if you don't watch boxing. The only way that you can make a statement like that is if you don't watch boxing. I'm gonna say it again. The only way you can make a statement for you don't understand why Terrence Crawford is on a pound for pound list is because you don't watch boxing. There's no way you can say something as silly as that unless you don't watch boxing. That literally doesn't make sense, bro. NAOYA INOUE fought Yi Jun Kim last. Before that, he fought TJ Doheny. You don't know who either one of those two guys are. If you don't understand why Terrence Crawford is on a pound for pound list at all, then you definitely don't know who Yi Jun Kim is. You definitely don't know who TJ Doheny is. You definitely don't know the significance of him fighting Louis Neary. You definitely don't know who Marlon Tapales is. You definitely don't know who Jason Maloney is. You definitely don't know who you might know who Nonito Donaire is, but you definitely don't know who Emmanuel Rodriguez is. Like, if you don't understand why Terrence Crawford's on the pound for pound list, there's no way you know anybody I just named, except for maybe the Filipino Flash. And out of everybody I just named, Filipino Flash is probably the only Hall of Famer on NAOYA INOUE's list, right? Or great fighter. I like Emmanuel Rodriguez is good too. You know, he has some decent fighters, but sorry, Stephen Fulton. I forgot about Stephen Fulton too. He's a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. Well, you can argue that he's great, but he's not a Hall of Famer. So the only Hall of Famer that NAOYA INOUE fought was an older Nonito Donaire, right? Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence when Errol Spence was on the pound for pound list. Nonito Donaire wasn't nowhere near the pound for pound list when NAOYA INOUE fought him. But you don't understand why Terrence Crawford's on the pound for pound list. Boy, y'all say some crazy stuff, but just say that you don't like Terrence Crawford. It's okay. I don't like everybody, but I just don't take away people's accolades because I don't like them. INOUE need to move up and fight Nick Ball. Espinosa be number 1 or 2. Exactly. He has to move up at 120, which I think he'll fight Nick Ball. I don't know about Espinosa, and I don't think he should fight Espinosa. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Espinosa, and I don't think NAOYA INOUE should fight Espinosa. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think he has to move up. You don't have to move up to be great. You know, NAOYA INOUE is already great, just like Terrence Crawford is already great, just like Usyk's already great. You don't have to continuously move up. But if you're going, if one of your contemporaries who you're consistently and constantly and frequently compared with, if they're moving up, then it would behoove you to also move up. Shout out to Mike for saying Terrence Crawford's number 1. I'm not mad at that. I disagree. I think Usyk's number 1, even if it's just recency bias. But Terrence Crawford is definitely above NAOYA INOUE right now, because Israel Madrimov, that one win, even though he only fought one time, that one win at 37 years old at a new weight class against an undefeated champion is better than NAOYA INOUE's wins over Yi Jun Kim, TJ Doheny, and Louis Neary. Louis Neary was knocked out before. TJ Doheny had 4 losses prior to losing to NAOYA INOUE. Yi Jun Kim, I think he had 2 losses, and you didn't even know who he was, and it was 10 days notice. Get the freak out of here, bro. You don't understand why Terrence Crawford's on the list. You don't understand boxing. You don't understand boxing. It's simple. Just say you don't understand boxing. I strongly believe the top 3 have all been at number 1 at some stage in the last 18 months. Yeah, but then I agree. Terrence Crawford has been number 1. INOUE has been number 1. INOUE has been, no, you're absolutely right. No one's, don't change the discussion now, James Daly. The discussion between me and you is that NAOYA INOUE just recently moved to number 2. That's the discussion between me and you. It's not about, NAOYA INOUE has definitely been number 1 in the last 18 months, of course. Because in the last 18 months, Alexander Usyk didn't even fight Tyson Fury once, let alone twice. Of course, NAOYA INOUE was just number 1, like before Terrence Crawford, before Usyk fought Tyson Fury. NAOYA INOUE was number 1. That's never been the discussion. The discussion is that you're saying that NAOYA INOUE didn't just move up to number 2, and I'm saying he did. That's the discussion. You're saying that because it wasn't at the beginning of the month and we're at January 20th, you're saying that the Ring Magazine rankings don't change. It only changes once a month. And I'm telling you, I don't think so. I could be wrong, though. And I have to prove it, because you're saying no, and evidence is in your favor right now. But Terrence Crawford was just number 2 like 2 weeks ago, bro. Yeah, there's no discussion there. Absolutely. NAOYA INOUE was number 1, of course. I'm just hoping my boy Ty or somebody in the chat could find me evidence of Terrence Crawford being number 2 like 2 weeks ago. I do agree that the Ring Magazine rankings update every month, but they don't just update every month. They update at least every month, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. I want to see INOUE and Nick Ball. I do want to see INOUE and Nick Ball. I know my boy Ryan wants to see INOUE and Nick Ball. He has Nick Ball winning. I don't know, man. I think that's a good fight. I think I'm gonna tell you like this. I think INOUE could beat Angelo Leo, who's fighting Kameda soon. I think NAOYA INOUE could beat Nick Ball. I'm not, when I say could be, I'm not saying that he definitively will beat them. I'm just saying I think that he has a big chance of beating them. I think he could beat Brandon Figueroa, but I don't think he could beat Espinosa. Technically, if you want to bypass mandatories, make sure it's for a unification attempt at a belt weight higher. Yep, there's always exception for the rule, and money talks. Yes, you can pay people step aside. That's a fact. But that's the thing about NAOYA Inoue. He's not fighting MJ Ahmadaliev, and people get in their feelings when you talk about it, and they say, "Oh well, Terrence Crawford didn't fight this guy. He only fought one time in the last 10 years." And then they say, "Oh well, Canelo ducked this guy in 1922." And then they say, "Oh well, Tank Davis is fighting Lamont Roach." They just say stupid stuff because they're just, you know, like I said, no disrespect to anybody in here. Like, I know when I talk about this, we think about Mansa Musa, but Mansa Musa already proved to be like, I can't have discussion about factual stuff with people who don't appreciate facts. You know, everything is not opinionated, and when you think everything is opinionated, that just screams that you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? People will argue with you if they don't know math that 1 + 1 is 2. I mean, that 1 + 1 is not 2. You know what I'm saying? You can't argue with that person because that would just make you frustrated. You know, so there's people that ignore facts, you know, and that's why we get in trouble with stuff that that should be easily obtained or easily known, you know, because people will argue facts because of their emotions, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, it is what it is. You know, NAOYA Inoue has been ordered to fight MJ Ahmadaliev twice. Now, and if he doesn't want to fight him, that's cool, then give up the belt. Because that's what they say about Canelo, right? Canelo didn't want to fight David Benavidez, so people were mad at him, and rightfully so. I'm a Canelo fan, but I like David Benavidez too, and I wish they would fight. But Canelo was never ordered to fight David Benavidez. David Benavidez never took Canelo to court in order to get his fight done because he was ordered and he ignored it. Canelo was never stripped for not fighting David Benavidez. They won't say that part. But guess what? NAOYA Inoue, he was ordered twice by the WBA to fight MJ Ahmadaliev. MJ Ahmadaliev's team is taking him to court, literally, to either fight him or give up the belt. And the WBA has come out and said that if NAOYA Inoue doesn't fight him next, then he will be stripped. But people will just ignore that. They'll say, "Oh, it's politics," or "Oh, it's because you don't like NAOYA Inoue." That has nothing to do with it. I think NAOYA Inoue beats MJ Ahmadaliev. That just has nothing to do with somebody when they deserve a fight, you know. So but I'm glad I saw that from Mansa, because that lets me know that I was giving him too much credit. I was giving him way too much credit. He doesn't know boxing like I thought he did. People don't know the significance of orders, you know. He said, Boxer remembers, "I'm the same man that came up here and argued with Doc that Canelo ducked William Skull, who was the mandatory that actually called." Exactly. If you want to say Canelo ducked William Skull, he gave up that belt, though. At least he gave up the belt, and that's why I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? So if NAOYA Inoue doesn't want to fight MJ Ahmadaliev, that's cool. Give up the belt. But you cannot ignore the orders to fight somebody and keep the belt, and then people say you're not ducking. No, NAOYA Inoue is arguably the biggest duck in boxing right now. Not only is he ducking MJ Ahmadaliev, he is the biggest duck right now. No, mandatories are mandatories. Let's not get it, but that's your problem right there, James, and that's your problem right there. You're saying people getting caught up in the Eddie Hearn hype. It has nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. You have to see through the nonsense, right? Yes, Eddie Hearn is a promoter. Of course, Eddie Hearn is a promoter, so he's gonna promote his guys like Jesse Bear Rodriguez, like Dimitri Bivol, like MJ Ahmadaliev. WBA ordering a fight has nothing to do with hype. That's, once again, people just listening to what they want to listen to. Eddie Hearn is definitely hyping up MJ Ahmadaliev, of course. That has nothing to do with the WBA ordering the fight. That's the thing, because people can't discern between the two. Because, once again, no disrespect to anybody in particular, but if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. You don't understand how boxing works, right? There's times when fighters have a voluntary defense, and there's times when fighters have a mandatory defense. For example, an example of a voluntary defense and a mandatory defense was Liam Paul versus Richardson Hitchens. That's why we gave Liam Paul so much credit, because he did not have to fight Richardson Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens was the mandatory for the IBF. He was in that position, but at that time, Liam Paul had a voluntary defense. He chose to make his voluntary defense be his mandatory defense, so it was 1-1, right? So that's when it goes together. But he did not have to fight Richardson Hitchens at that moment. He could have fought somebody else and then fought Richardson Hitchens later when he had to fight the mandatory. You understand? But people don't understand how boxing works, and it's okay if you don't. But when you talk about things like, oh, so definitively because your emotions are tied to it. You say, oh, Eddie Hearn is just hyping him up. Yes, he's hyping him up, but that has nothing to do with him being ordered to fight by the WBA. He is the mandatory. That's the order of things. It's the WBA's turn. Because NAOYA INOUE has all 4 belts, it's the WBA's turn for their fighter who's ranked number 1 to get their opportunity to fight for their belt, which is the WBA and which is MJ Amadaliev. So an example of a mandatory defense was William Skull and Canelo. Canelo, it was the IBF's turn for the undisputed, because Canelo was undisputed at 168. It was the IBF's turn to fight their mandatory. Canelo had to fight William Skull. He didn't. Is Canelo undisputed now? No, because he didn't have a voluntary defense. He had a mandatory defense. That mandatory defense was against William Skull. He did not fight William Skull. He was stripped. And then William Skull fought for the vacant title against Vladimir Shishkin. That's how boxing works. But people don't understand the difference between voluntary defenses, mandatory defenses. Mandatory is not made up, bro. So when pugilism said mandatory, no, it's not made up. Are there ways that you could get around mandatories? Yes. An example is somebody who got around a mandatory. Montes Stanionis. Montes Stanionis is a WBA champion. The mandatory was called in Shakram Giyashov, right? He had to fight. That's what mandatory. Do you know what mandate means? Mandate means you have to do it. There's no avoidance. It's not optional. You have to. He was mandated to fight Shakram Giyashov because Shakram Giyashov was the mandatory for the WBA. And Montes Stanionis and Shakram Giyashov were going to fight. Shakram Giyashov elected to take step-aside money, and the WBA agreed, so where that mandatory was allowed to be postponed, which is why we get Boots versus Stanionis for a unification. But that doesn't mean that Shakram Giyashov was not the mandatory. It just means that because Stanionis wasn't fighting his mandatory, one of two things will happen. One, you would get stripped. Sorry, one of 3 things. 1, you fight your mandatory. 2, you get stripped for not fighting your mandatory. Or 3, the mandatory and the governing body, which is this case the WBA, come to an agreement to where Shakram Giyashov will get paid and compensated for not exercising his right to fight for a title. Because he deserves that opportunity, whether you like him, whether Eddie Hearn is hyping him, whether you never heard of him or not, it doesn't matter. It has no implication on how boxing works. It's just the majority of people are just goofy, and it's okay not to know something. You know, ignorance is bliss. It's okay not to know something. But what's not okay, it should never be accepted, is when that person that does not know something masquerades as somebody who's an expert in that field. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. That's the problem right there. That's how misinformation starts. That's how fake news starts.
If you out here getting fake vagina over your fake jury, reality is reality.
Now, admittedly so, boxing is a very complicated sport and hard sport to keep up with because they have so many moving parts, so many champions, so many sanctioning bodies, so many rules, so many exceptions to the rules. But what doesn't change is mandatories are mandatories. Voluntaries are voluntaries. Just because you're in the number 1 position doesn't mean that you're a mandatory next. And I can give you another example. How about William Zepeda? William Zepeda was number 1 in not only one sanctioning body, he was number 1 in all 4 sanctioning bodies: WBA, WBO, WBC, and IBF. He was number 1 in all sanctioning bodies. Did William Zepeda, did he have a title fight yet? No, because he did not enforce his mandatory. But people don't understand how boxing works. So they will say stupid things like this, and then I will give them an example that contradicts their mindset. And instead of being like, oh, bet, I understand now, they just double down and then tie their shoes and tighten their bootstraps and put something on to anchor them down and keep their position because people don't like being wrong. And they have no accountability. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So no, mandatories are real. Voluntary defenses are real. Being in number 1 position and not being a mandatory is real. Like, for example, Edgar Berlanga. People talk trash about Canelo fighting Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga was ranked number 1. But when Canelo fought him, it wasn't a mandatory defense. He voluntarily fought the number 1 guy who was in a mandatory position in the WBA in Edgar Berlanga. But you know, I don't know. I could say it till my throat fall out. You want to listen? You ain't got to listen. That's what MJ did. MJ took it to court. Exactly. You know, they told David, we not ordered at 168. You better off going at 175. Canelo's real man towards John Ryder. That's a fact. Now, okay, and that's where you can order. Now, that's the only part that's up for discussion. What Brian just said. Now, if you want to argue that, and this is a discussion, if you want to argue why wasn't Canelo ever forced to fight Dave Benavidez, that's an argument. But you cannot say that Canelo, especially if you're not going to say NAOYA INOUE is ducking MJ Amadaliev because he was ordered. You cannot say Canelo was ducking David Benavidez if you don't think that NAOYA INOUE is ducking MJ Ahmadaliev, because Canelo was never ordered. Now, if you want to go into the politics, that's politics. If you want to say, why wasn't he ordered, then that part is politics. But when you want to just say, oh, this is politics, mandatories are politics, you just don't know how boxing works. And in order, as opposed to just admitting that, you rather reach at straws because for you, that makes you feel better, you know? It just makes you feel better, you know? And that's cool. You can believe whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? That don't make it any more true. You can believe whatever you want. Yeah, that's cool, Ryan. I'm not mad at anybody saying Canelo's ducking. I'm not mad. That's what when people say that, like when I say stuff about NAOYA INOUE and people say because they know that I like Canelo and they know I like Tank, they say, oh, they're rebuttal. They go to Tank because they think that this is one of those goofy regular boxing channels that has a favorite fighter and they want to defend him. No, I always say that Canelo should have fought David Benavidez. If you listen to me, I say that all the time. I just think that Canelo would beat David Benavidez. But if I'm David Benavidez, you guys dang right, I feel like Canelo's ducking me. But at the same time, if I'm David Benavidez too, you have to practice accountability, and he did slip up. So when you, like Ryan brought up the discussion about why wasn't he ordered? Well, he missed weight a couple times. Well, he was on coke a couple times. Well, one time, you know, and that messes up your eligibility. And I'm not saying that was enough to make him not be ordered, but if you don't dot your I's and cross your T's, you might end up like John Real Casimero, another guy who they say INOUE ducked. I never say INOUE ducked Casimero. I would like that fight to have happened, but COVID happened, right? And also John Real Casimero just missed weight in his last fight, so he got suspended for a year. So as much as I want Casimero and NAOYA INOUE to fight, he has to take some accountability, because you could say, oh yeah, they didn't have to give him a year. Maybe the Japan Boxing Commission is protecting INOUE from Casimero. If you're a Casimero fan, you might think that way. But it doesn't change the fact that was a reaction to the action, and the initial action was Casimero missing weight. If he never missed weight, he would have never got punished at all. So you put yourself in a position to get punished and get skipped. So same with David Benavidez. If he was never on coke, you know what I'm talking about, on that booger sugar, then he might not have been skipped at all. If he never missed weight and had to drop a belt, he may not have been skipped at all. You have to take accountability. Now, if like I said, if you want to have a discussion about, hey, maybe the sanctioning bodies are protecting Canelo because he's a cash cow, and Canelo says, I don't want to fight him, so they're not going to enforce the rules so they can get Canelo's money and tap into his pockets, that might be right. But what's not right is that Canelo was ever ordered to fight Benavidez, because he wasn't. It is what it is. I can speak so definitively and passionately and loudly about it because it's right. Show me where Canelo was ordered to fight David Benavidez, and I'll shut up. Show me where Tank, like Mansa Musa said, show me where Tank was ordered to fight Shakur Stevenson, and I'll shut up. Because that's how boxing works. When you're ordered to fight somebody, if you don't fight them, you will get stripped. Unless you weren't ordered. And people just think that you're ordered because that's the fight they want to see, because they're emotional goofies. That's what most people are on the internet. That's why they talk so much trash. That's why they act so tough on the internet, because they're not that in real life. They're not smart in real life. They're not tough in real life. They're not active in real life. They're nothing in real life. So that's why they talk and type like that, with so much passion and alacrity and force and fervor, because that's how they get out the characteristics that they desire to have in their real life. They do it virtually. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. I'm gonna be honest, man. It's so annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's so annoying because there's so many dummies that are allowed to exist on the internet. I feel like there should be some type of internet active commission that suspends people for 2 days every time they're wrong. Every time you say something dumb, just suspend them. Bro, always saying that when Canelo was on PEDs, he said, bro, yes, Canelo was on. Okay, so this is a shout out to Forever G's in the building. All right, let me break this down for you again. G's. I wasn't saying that he was on. I'm saying he violated the rules, bro. You trying to make it seem like I'm knocking David. I like David Benavidez, bro. I'm just saying that's probably got into the, not probably, that's what got into the way of him being called. I didn't say that. I wasn't. You're getting emotional, bro. I never said that Canelo wasn't on PD. I never said that he wasn't. He was. But what did Canelo do? And I'm going to tell you, this is the difference. And this is why you got to pay attention. But don't worry, I'm here for you. So when Canelo was on PEDs, just like Alicia Bumgarner, the difference between Canelo, old cinnamon, and Alicia Bumgarner was that, and let's say somebody like Ryan Garcia and somebody like Conor Benn, right? And Dennis McCann, right? Who just recently popped dirty against Peter McGrail. So the fight was canceled. Canelo popped dirty when he was on, he was already on a regimen of VADA, right? You see what I'm saying? So they were already testing throughout the training camp. He got caught with the random drug testing with the clenbuterol. and he got suspended and the fight was called off. If you remember, Canelo was supposed to fight Triple G when? May 5th, right? Cinco de Mayo weekend, because he always fights on Cinco de Mayo, right? Canelo fights on 2 dates. If you watch boxing, you know this. He fights on Cinco de Mayo, which is in May 5th to be exact, that weekend, and he fights on Mexican Independence Day, which is the second week of September, right? Right. So he was originally supposed to fight Triple G in May. He tested negative. He tested positive in like March or something. Don't quote me on the date, but it's like March or April, right? He got his original sentence was like 18 months. He took it to court and he proved, whether you believe it or not, I'm not talking about what you believe. I'm not pulling on your emotions. I'm pulling on your logic. I'm not pulling on your heart. I'm pulling on your brain. Use your brain now. Get out your feelings. He took it to court, whether you believe it or not. The courts believed that he provided substantial proof to substantiate his claims that he took it accidentally. It was in his tacos or whatever the hell it was, it's a steak or the cows, whatever. They found out that his evidence that he provided showed that it was ingested unintentionally. He consumed it accidentally. Therefore, not only was his sentence reduced from 18 months, the date was pushed back to September, and he still fought Triple G. So that means 2 things. One, most importantly, he was found innocent of not doing it intentionally, to where his sentence was decreased, right? His suspension was decreased. Number 2, he never tested positive during the fight. Ryan Garcia did. Dennis McCann did. Conor Benn did. Same with Alicia Baumgartner. Alicia Baumgartner was taking tests, and one of her tests that came back dirty or positive was from training. The other test that she had during the fight, it came back clean, which is why her win over that person was never changed to a no contest. That's why Ryan Garcia's was, because he tested positive the night of the fight. Alicia Baumgartner didn't. So when you say dumb shit like, oh, well, Canelo and Alicia Baumgartner, they cheated, how come their wins weren't overturned? Because they never tested positive during the fight. And you would know that if you got out your feelings and you looked at it objectively, instead of looking at it with hate in your eyes because you don't like Canelo or you don't like Alicia Baumgartner, and you love Ryan Garcia, you love Dennis McCann, and you love Conor Benn, and you just try to equate every cheating situation and make them synonymous. They're not. It's a big difference if you get caught cheating during training camp and you get caught cheating the night of the freaking fight. They're both cheating, but one is a whole lot worse. I'm just saying. Yo, my guy Stick Talk Richie in the building. Long time no see, brethren. NPR. I'm just saying, bro. I just get the facts, bro. I really do this. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think people realize, like, I have my PhD in engineering, bro. I'm a research. That's literally my title as a research scientist. I love research, bro, because I love speaking on things that I know. And if I don't know, I have no problem saying, hey, bro, I don't know. I could be wrong. Like when James Daly came in here and said that NAOYA INOUE has always been number 2. I said, no, you're wrong, because I seen it and I'm going to prove it to you. But I said, you know what? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? You could be right. And the evidence right now shows that James Daly is right, because I can't provide any evidence to prove what I'm saying. You know, I can't find anything. I can't find the freaking Ring Magazine rankings from 2 weeks ago, unfortunately. So look, chat. Look, now he says cheating is cheating. Whoever argued that? When did I say cheating is not cheating? When did I say cheating is not cheating? Cheating is cheating. But if you pop dirty the night of the fight and you pop dirty during training camp, those are 2 different things. Because in training camp, you can cycle off, which goes back to my point with Canelo, with the one that you're trying to make, and that's why you're upset now. That's why you're resorting to cheating is cheating. Well, when Canelo, when he got caught cheating in April, if they push back the fight to September, that means that the cheating was already cycled off, so he's no longer cheating. Just because you're cheating doesn't mean that you're cheating forever. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, cheating is cheating, except when you're not cheating. So if you want to say that he was cheating during Triple G because he got caught cheating 7 or 8 months prior, then I mean, that's on you, bro. You just want to believe what you want to believe, and I don't argue with people who want to believe what they want to believe. You know, I believe in facts. I don't believe in opinions. You know what I'm talking about? He served 6 months, provide samples of tainted Mexican livestock that the WBC had levels for clenbuterol changed because it's in the majority of cows. Thank you. Right there. Shout out to Fact Checker Ty. Shout out to Fact Checker Ty, man. We gonna get you right with this new segment, bro. I mean, but it's crazy, because if people really cared as much as they act like they do, you could just go look this. There's nothing that I made up, bro. Go Google it, bro. And matter of fact, don't Google it. Go look at my videos. I provide documentation in all my videos, bro. I don't just make things up. You know what I'm saying? Just go look it up, bro. It's there for you. It's free. The internet's free, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Google is free, bro. And Google's your friend. Jay-Z told us that. Google's your friend, bro. Just Google it. Just Google it. There's not one lie I said. Benavidez should have been WBC Mando after Plant or WBA Mando. I agree with that, MAW. A shout out to MAW in the building. I agree. I wish Benavidez and him fought. My bad. Nah, you good, NPR. Why you said my bad for, bro? No lie. I think Inoue could beat Espinosa. Angelo Leo. Ball for yeah. Easy. Ooh, Infinity. I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at that. I think Easy is disrespectful, but I don't think he could be. Me personally, I don't think he'd be Espinosa, but that's what they have to fight, right? NAOYA Inoue's a beast. So he's a phenomenal talent. So any fight that he's in, you have to give him a huge chance to win. So I'm not saying that he has no chance. I would never say Inoue has no chance. But I just think that Espinosa is too much. I think he has a better chance against Nick Ball. I think he has a better chance against Leo. And I think he has a better chance against Figueroa, especially when you think that NAOYA Inoue knocked out Fulton and Fulton beat Figueroa. Now it was at 122. They're fighting at 126 now. So I think Figueroa is going to be different. But of course, you know. And then Brandon Figueroa and NAOYA Inoue have a common opponent, Luis Nery. Brandon Figueroa knocked out Nery in like the 7th round by TKO to the body shot, or KO to the body shot, if I'm not mistaken. And Nery and Inoue stopped Nery as well. So they have a commonality there. You know, now they have two commonalities, Stephen Fulton and Nery. And if you go by their commonality in opponents, then Inoue's better because Inoue knocked out Fulton and stopped Nery. Figueroa stopped Nery, but he lost to Fulton. So you have to give him a chance. But do I think he wins? No, I don't. But that I don't mean I don't give him a chance. You know, of course. I think Inoue's a beat. That's the when I say stuff, people think I don't like. Bro, I like Inoue. Trust me, if I didn't like a fighter, I would tell you. I have no problem telling you. I have no problem telling you who I like, who my two favorite fighters are, Canelo and Tank. I have no problem telling you who I don't like. I don't like Teofimo. I don't like Ryan Garcia. I don't like I never really cared for AJ. You know, I like him more now, but I didn't really care for AJ before. But I try to assess. I put my feelings aside. I rarely make a subjective assessment. I usually objective. You know what I'm saying? I like Deontay Wilder. I said Zhang was gonna knock his head off, and that's what happened. You know, I would tell you who I'm rooting for, but if you ask me who I think I'm winning, I try to be objective, and it's not really trying because it comes easy to me because I don't know these guys or girls personally. You know what I'm talking about? YD in the building. But Canelo proved his innocence. Thank you, Ryan. He proved his innocence. But people overlook that part because it's not convenient for the narrative that they're trying to kick. You know what I'm saying? It's not convenient. It's not convenient, Ryan. You know, so people only consume information that's convenient with a preconceived notion and conclusion that they already formulated in their head. You notice that, right? You notice that, right? So it's not that people don't seek the truth. They seek whatever channel or content or source that regurgitates whatever conclusion they already came up with before going to seek the information. They don't want to know the truth, bro. You can't handle the truth. That's a fact, bro. Tell me I'm lying. Just go look around YouTube. Look how much stupid people say stupid crap and how much people be in there agreeing. Quantity never makes quality. Thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have a bunch of dumbasses don't make any one of them smart. It just means that you're a large group of dumbasses collected in a central location. That's all that means. You know what I'm talking about? You got 50 clowns. That doesn't mean one of them's a genius because there's 50 clowns. It just means you have 50 clowns. The fuck? My bad. Last comment. My bad. He said, fun fact, Tyson Fury tried to do the same thing, but it backfired when the UK farmer snitched to UCAT. They talked to him that he doesn't inject his livestock with any growth. Ooh, I didn't know about that. So you just put me on something. I didn't know about that. Shame on Tyson Fury, but that's my guy. I rock with Tyson Fury. Watch your mouth. For Bam to get Inoue fight, I think he has to fight. He has to watch Fulton. For Bam to get the Inoue fight, I think he has to watch Fulton. What you mean, Richie? Fulton's fighting. Oh, you're saying, but Fulton's fighting Figueroa right now. You're saying like just in general, Bam has to fight Fulton. I don't think Bam should get the Inoue fight. I don't even think Juto Nakatani should get the fight. You know, but then again, like I said, I understand for the mainstream appeal, because people don't really watch the lower weights, and I don't blame, you know, I understand it. But like I said, I would much rather Juto Nakatani clean out his division, at least try to get unified. Like I said, there's 3 other champions in 118 right now today as we speak that have a belt, and they're undefeated, bro. They're undefeated champions in his division. Why the freak are we talking about Juto Nakatani fighting NAOYA Inoue? He has to handle his business in 118. Ryosuke Nishida is undefeated. I know I sound like a broken record for Oscar and Ty and all the homies that come to the chat all the time. I apologize, but I'm going to say it again. Juto Nakatani is one of 4 undefeated champions at 118. Why the hell are we talking about him fighting an undisputed champion at a weight class above? Because they're both from Japan? Because you only heard of those two? Why aren't we interested in Juto Nakatani fighting Ryosuke Nishida? No, he just won a fight. He's undefeated. He's a champion. Why aren't we interested in him fighting Yoshiki Takei? He's an undefeated champion. Why aren't we interested in him fighting Seiya Tsutsumi? He's an undefeated champion. By the way, he just beat Naoya Inoue's brother, Takuma Inoue. Seiya Tsutsumu's a beast. Matter of fact, I'm not bragging on this, but don't people get excited and say, oh, he caught a body? Seiya Tsutsumi is the reason why Anaguchi, rest in peace, is no longer with us. That was the fight of the year candidate. It was Seiya Tsutsumi and Anaguchi in December of 2023. Yeah, the guy, Anaguchi, who passed away at 23 years old, God bless him and his family, he was put into a coma after he fought Seiya Tsutsumi. And he was pronounced dead in January of 2024 after his fight with Seiya Tsutsumi. But that's why we love Subaru Matias, because he caught a body, right? I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't know why people are so violent anyway, but I mean, it's already a violent sport. You got to wish somebody to die too. I don't know. But anyway, it's not Seiya Tsutsumu's fault. It's not Subaru Matias' fault for Maxim Derdashev passing away. It's just a harsh reality and an unfortunate potential outcome for fights. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if people get excited about that, you should be excited about Seiya Tsutsumi, because there are people who are bloodthirsty and dumb and idiotic that want to see people freaking meet their demise in the ring because they take it beyond a sport. You know, so if you do, then why aren't you excited about Seiya Tsutsumi? Seiya Tsutsumi caught a body. Yeah, okay. But yeah, people don't pay attention to boxing. That's why. So that's why they want Jutsu Nakatani versus Bam Rodriguez or Bam Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue, because they don't recognize that there's other good fights besides the two people that you heard of. Man, Subaru ain't it. That's why Devin should have fought him in the comeback fight. If Nello beats Bud, does that make up for the L against Floyd? Can he say what I was lacking experience? If Nello beats Bud, I don't think it makes up for it. But I don't think he has to make it up though. Stick talk, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I agree with Ty. I said hell no. I would say hell no. I'll double down. I don't think there's no making up for it. Like no disrespect to Saul. I don't think he has to get that fight back against Bivol. But there's nothing that's going to supplement for that. You know, you got handled. You know, I just don't like when people forget to include that he got handled by a bigger guy because he moved to 175. It's okay, but we got to, like for some reason, because Canelo is so good, it's like the LeBron James effect, you know, or MJ, or like whether you like it or not, Canelo is that, you know what I'm saying? He's the face of boxing. That's what Floyd was. He is the man of the sport, you know? So at some point it gets cool to be dismissive of their accomplishments, or like as much as I like Michael Jordan more than I like LeBron, it's still impressive for LeBron. I don't care if he was 0-10. It's impressive for him to go to the finals 10 times or 9 times, whatever it was. That's impressive. You know, it would be more impressive if you win. But if anybody else, there's some people that people are calling GOATs, like Paul George, and never even been to the finals or been an MVP or a finals MVP or a scoring champion. But people call him the GOAT because they make their standards lower because they're so accustomed to greatness from one person. So it's really unfair how they judge him. Tank is like that too. You know, Tank will knock out Frank Martin and people won't be impressed, but people will be impressed by Inoue beating TJ Doheny. Why is that? Why Frank Martin's better than TJ Doheny? Is he not? Mario Barrios is a champion at 147 right now. Can you imagine if Naoya Inoue beat somebody that went on and became a champion in 2 divisions higher? They'd be praising Naoya Inoue like crazy. But when Tank does it, somehow it means that Mario Barrios is not good. Even though he's a champion at welterweight right now and he lost to Tank at 140. I mean, make it make sense. You know, it's crazy because Vladimir Vasily Lomachenko, when he lost to to Orlando Salido, what did they say? They said, oh, Orlando Salido cheated because he came in overweight. But then when Ryan Garcia cheats Devin Haney and comes in overweight and on P, these people say it doesn't matter. I can't make this up, chat. I can't make this up. He said, I like it, bro. I like Inoue, bro. I don't like unfair treatment, bro. I don't know any of these fighters personally, bro. So, I mean, I can't help what people hear. I can only help what I say. I think Naoya Inoue is a beat. Like I said, I don't think he has to move up to 126. I don't think he has to move up to 126. I think he's good. I think there's good fights for him at 122. I think Sam Goodman's a good fight. I think he beats him. I think David Picasso Romero is a good fight. I think he beats him, the Mexican undefeated fighter who's in the #1 position for WBC right now. I think MJ Akhmadaliev is the best fight at 122. I think Elijah Pierce is a good fight. I think Casimiro's still a good fight. I would favor Inoue in all those fights, you know? But when I say he goes up to 126, bro, I respect weight classes, and I think that's a challenge, and I respect the challenge. Do I think he could beat Angelo Leo? Yeah. Do I think he could beat Fulton? I mean, not Fulton. Figueroa? Yeah. Do I think he could beat Nick Ball? Yeah. Do I think it's 100%? No. Like, I'm not no. Why would you think it's 100%? These guys are champions. I definitely don't think he could beat Espinosa. That's nothing to do with me liking or disliking in a way, but I respect Espinosa. David Park said, Bud could definitely outbox Canelo, but his defense has to be on point. The judges. What's up, David Park in the building? I'm gonna be honest. I think, and I know people gonna say, oh, because I like Canelo, but I think Canelo beats Bud. I think Canelo stops Bud, but I like Bud too. I definitely think Bud deserves the chance to fight. Bud is a phenomenal talent that deserves any fight he could get, and he deserves to have a chance, just like NAOYA INOUE. I would never say NAOYA INOUE doesn't have a chance against Espinosa. I just think Espinosa wins. I don't know who wins between Angelo Leo and NAOYA INOUE. I don't know. That's a good fight. I would lean towards Angelo Leo right now, but I would never say he doesn't have a chance, just like with Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford has a good chance against Canelo, but I just don't think he wins. I think Canelo wins. Wait, Doc, how Frank better than T? Please. Nah. Ryan didn't just say that. Nah, someone, please, can we take away Ryan? Hey, I have to take away your mob, bro. I gotta time you out, bro. That was crazy. Nah, I gotta remove your mob, bro, just so I can. Please, someone time out. Please, someone give Ryan at least 10 seconds, bro. I love Ryan. That's my brother, bro. Somebody, please give him at least 10 seconds. He just asked me how is Frank Martin better. He broke my notification. That's how crazy that comment was. The notification didn't even come out. Please, someone, please give Ryan 10 seconds. Nah, get him out of here, chat. That's crazy, bro. He just said TJ Doheny. Ain't no way he just said that, bro. There's no way he just said that, bro. He just said TJ Doheny. He said Frank Martin. I can't, bro. My stomach hurt, bro. Nah, bro. He troll. Nah, you're trolling me, bro. Bro, this man Ryan's good, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He troll. Bro, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Now we going on your show, right? I'm telling you, bro. There's no way he just said that, bro. There's no way he just said that, bro. Some people never would have belt. Yes, okay. So I will say this, Ryan. Okay. I'm gonna entertain that because that's a good question for those that don't know. I know you know, but just in case people don't, right? So his question is, TJ Doheny was a belt holder. Yes. TJ Doheny was not a belt holder at the time. At the time that they fought, Frank Martin beat Artem Harutyunyan, who was an Olympian. He beat Michelle, the reincarnate of Ali, Rivera, right? Frank Martin beat these guys, right? And he was undefeated at a decent puncher. So, did TJ Doheny have bigger accomplishments than Frank? Yes. Not at the time he fought NAOYA INOUE, bro. He was 4-3 in his last 7 fights when he fought NAOYA INOUE, bro. It's like Juan Francisco Estrada. I know people gonna say I'm hating. Juan Francisco Estrada, El Gallo, the Rooster. You cannot give Jesse Bam Rodriguez as much credit for fighting. He did not fight the same Estrada that Chocolatito fought. You understand what I'm saying? They fought at different times. TJ Doheny, at one point in time, he might have been a better opponent than Frank Martin, but not at the time in which they fought. Tank fought Frank when Frank was at his peak. TJ Doheny fought NAOYA INOUE when he was 36 and was 4-3 in his last 7 fights. TJ Doheny, NAOYA INOUE was TJ Doheny's 5th loss. You heard that right. 5th. Tank was Frank Martin's 1st. Come on, bro. Come on. Stop it, bro. I'm not saying TJ Doheny being a belt holder is not great. He was not a belt holder at the time he fought NAOYA INOUE. He was not even a good fighter. That's why. But you see what Ryan's doing, though, because guess who TJ Doheny's fighting next, chat? TJ Doheny is fighting Nick Ball. Ask Ryan Frazier, ask Ryan who's his favorite fighter. He may not be his number 1 favorite fighter, but he may be his number 2. He's definitely in his top 3. He loves Nick Ball. So he doesn't want people to he wants people to think that TJ Doheny is good and not realize that TJ Doheny is moving up after getting knocked out at 122 and getting a title shot against Nick Ball, which is really shitty, right? People, that's another thing. I'm so glad Ryan said that. Shout out to my boy Ryan, man. Ryan, people complain about Errol Spence coming back after a loss and getting a title shot against Sebastian Fedora. Errol Spence was a former pound-for-pound title holder, right? He was a former pound-for-pound fighter, title holder, and he's on a lot of people's all-time great. He's a future Hall of Famer, whether you like him or not. People are mad because he lost to Terrence Crawford, pound for pound, number 1, 2, or 3, and he gets a title shot in his next fight against Sebastian Fedora. That didn't happen, right? People are mad at that. People are mad that Tim Tszyu lost to Sebastian Fedora and immediately got a title shot against Bakram Murtazalia. People are mad at that. People are mad that that Gary Anton Russell lost to Alberto Puello and is immediately getting a title shot against Jose Rayo Valenzuela. People are mad at that. Where's the uproar? Where's all these irate individuals when I tell you that Nick Ball is fighting TJ Doheny, who just got knocked out? Not knocked out cold, TKO'd. He got stopped in a lower weight division by a smaller guy, NAOYA INOUE. TJ Doheny just got stopped in his last fight at 122, and he's moving up to 126, and he's getting a title shot immediately against Nick Ball. No one's mad at that. You know why? Because people don't pay attention, and that's the hypocrisy of boxing fans, because they don't know shit. So you got to know better to do better. And in their defense, I'm going to defend them. They're ignorant. They just don't even know better. So when they see a situation that caught their attention, they think that it's the first time it ever happened. They think that it's the first, like it's the pioneer of that situation. I'm not advocating that people should get a title shot after losing, but I'm saying that it's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time, it's not the last time that it's happened. Matter of fact, I could tell you 4 times in the last year off the top of my head where people lost and got a title shot immediately afterwards. You didn't complain because you didn't know. Just because you don't feel the sunshine in Nigeria doesn't mean the sun ain't shining. Just because you don't feel the wind blow in Brazil don't mean the wind's not blowing. You just don't feel it. So just because you don't see something happen doesn't mean it's not happening. It's like with Devin Haney. Do I think Devin Haney should sue Ryan Garcia? I don't know if you think he should or not. That's your business. That's subjective. What's not subjective is that the fact that this is not the first time it's happened. This is not the first time a fighter's been cheated and been taken to court for cheating. It's just the first time that you paid attention. That's it, bro. That's why people will come in here and say, oh, well, Canelo cheated too, and Alicia Baumgartner cheated too. How come you like them and you don't like Ryan Garcia? Because they never got caught cheating during the fight. Which is why the fight was never changed to a no contest. But you only know that if you pay attention or if you listen to this channel, because I'm going to give you the facts. Fuck your feelings. Only 2% of fighters achieve the status of calling themselves a world champion. TJ and that too. Frank won't be in that percentage. I disagree. I think Frank. I take that bet. I'll take that bet, Ryan. I think Frank's going to be I think Frank's going to be a champion again. I mean, not again. I think Frank's going to be a champion. I think he's going to be a champion at 140. I'll take that bet. I'll booger in the building, my guy. Big salutations to you, my brother. And shout out to all y'all that rock with me, man. I appreciate it, bro. And that's the thing. I don't know everything, bro. But if I know something, it's gonna be very hard for you to convince me otherwise. If you just come with your feelings, it's not gonna work. I don't fuck with feelings, bro. I fuck with facts. Tran in the building. I didn't know you were in here, bro. My bad. I didn't see you. Fedora will never fight Bud. Yeah, I don't know if that fight happens. I'm not mad at that fight doesn't happen though. I think there's other fights that are more intriguing. At 126 needs to unify already. Bro, MAW, bro. Can you rock with me for a second, bro? Check me out, MAW. 115. Yeah, the division that Ben Rodriguez is in, it's not unified. You have Puma Martinez, who's an undefeated champion. You have Fumaleli Cafu, the South African fighter. He's an undefeated champion. So you have the Argentinian and Fernando Puma Martinez, undefeated, and he called out Ben Rodriguez. And Fumaleli Cafu, the South African champion, undefeated. And you have Jesse Bam Rodriguez, the American champion, undefeated at 115. The IBF title is vacant because Puma Martinez was unified, but he had to drop it to go pursue that Kazuta Ioka rematch for a more lucrative deal. 115 is not unified, but we want Bam Rodriguez to fight Juto Nakatani. Let's go up to 118 in Juto Nakatani's division. Juto Nakatani, Ryosuke Nishida, Seiya Tsutsumi, Yoshiki Takei. Not only are all 4 of those guys champions at 118, they're all undefeated. But we want Juto Nakatani to move up and fight NAOYA INOUE at 122. 118 is not unified. 120, let's skip 122. We know that's undisputed because NAOYA INOUE's division. Shout out to the monster. 126, you have Brandon Figueroa. You have who just took a title because Ray Vargas has been declared champion in recess. So we have Brandon Figueroa. We have Nick Ball. We have Angelo Leo. We have Rafael Espinosa. 126, 4 champions. None of them unified. But we want NAOYA INOUE, who's at a weight class below, to come up and fight these champions. But none of these champions are fighting each other. 126 is not unified. 130, Lamont Roach is fighting Tank Davis, a guy that's a weight class above. And you have Emmanuel Navarrete. You have 130 Oshiki Foster. You have Anthony Kakasi, who is about to be stripped. That's what the rumor is, because he wants to fight somebody else and move up. 130, 4 different champions. Nobody's unified. 135, which I'm so pissed off for 135. You have Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko talk about his neck and his back, you know, and then you got Denise Baranchik, who's about to fight Keyshawn Davis. Nobody's unified. Nobody's fighting each other. 140, I'm have a little bit more patience with 140 because they're very active in 140, and the champions are moving so much. You know, we just saw Liam Paro beat Subra Matias, that title change. Then we seen Richard Hitches beat Liam Paro, that title change. We see Isa Pipa Cruz beat Rolly Romero, that title change. And then Isa Pipa Cruz lose to Rayo Valenzuela, that title change. But still, nonetheless, you have Teofimo Lopez, who's not fighting nobody. All he's doing is bumping his gums and saying a whole bunch of racist epithets and slander and discriminatory, having discriminatory conversations. You know, he's not fighting nobody in the ring. Teofimo's a champion 140. Rayo's a champion at 140. He's about to fight Gary Antoine Russell. You have 140 Richard Hitches, who just beat Liam Paro, and you got Alberto Puello, who will be fighting Sandro Martin finally. 140, no unified champions. 147, we're finally getting a unification with Jerron Boots Ennis and Stanionis, right? Because Shakram Giyashov, who was ordered to fight Stanionis, he was paid step-aside money so we could get the unification. Shout out to Shakram Giyashov. So we got Jerron Boots Ennis, Stanionis, Brian Norman, and Mario Barrios. No unification, nobody fighting. All these are unified, bro. All these are too many divisions without a unified champion. 147, 154, that's a hot division, and it is unified because shout out to Sebastian Fedora. He beat Tim Tszyu for the WBO and WBC belt, so he's unified. But then you got Terrence Crawford and Bakram Murtazaliev, so they are unified at 154. But you see how far I had to go? I just went from 115 and 112. I don't think 112 is unified either. But I just went from 115 to 154, and only two divisions were unified, right? One was undisputed at 122, and the other one, Sebastian Fedora, at 154. 160, Janibek is unified. Janibek has 2 belts. Carlos Adames, and so Janibek, Carlos Adames, and Erislandy Lara. 168, that's Canelo's division, but then you also have William Skull, who has an IBF title. 175, undisputed, Artur Beterbiev. Cruiserweight, Gilberto Zerto Ramirez has 2 belts. He has WBO and WBO and the WBA. The WBC champion is Badu Jack, because the champion of the recess is Noel McKaylen, and then Ja Pataya has an IBF, right? And then of course we have heavyweight undisputed Alexander Usyk. Oh no, sorry, not undisputed. Usyk, and then Dubois has an IBF. 108. Yeah, 108. Yep, because 105 is unified. 105 is 108's not unified either. But I think 108 only has like 2 champions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tran. I think they have 2 vacant titles down there, so that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's a little better. 108, I think they only have 2 champions at 108, so I kind of disregard them unless you have 4 champions. You know, 105, Oscar Collazo just beat Freshmart, so he's unified. He has 2 belts. He said, Kendrick in the building was good. With lack of unifications, Doc, I've been saying elsewhere. Yeah, facts. We need those unifications, bro. You forgot Bridgerweight. Stop it. Bridgerweight? Hey, man. Hey, Bridgerweight doesn't exist to me, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Bridgerweight is bullshit. Who the heck's that Bridgerweight? NPR, freaking Lawrence Okolie, and who else? Lawrence Okolie and his two cousins. Who the heck is that Bridgerweight, bro? I don't even know who's that Bridgerweight, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's one thing where I don't know. You got it. If you wanna stump me in a boxing argument or discussion, bring up Bridgerweight. I don't know shit about Bridgerweight. I ain't gonna hold you. Is it Haney back as champion and Puello's interim, or does it wait until he gets in the ring? Yeah, no. It waits till he gets in the ring. But even when he gets in the ring, I'm not sure if he's getting that back, Kendrick. Because remember, Devin Haney's moving to 147, so I don't think he has to get back in the ring. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. We're gonna check out Ty with the facts, but he has to not only get back in the ring, but he has to also get back in the ring with a ranked opponent in his same division in which he was a title holder. So Devin Haney's not going back at 140, so Alberto Puello's a full champion now. And correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Weightflation, prime example, Bridgeway. Yeah, I don't know nothing about pugilism in the building. Puello School Gary, I agree. I thought it was a good fight, but yeah, Puello did his thing, man. I think the right person won. I'm looking forward to Russell and Rayo, or Rayo versus Russell. Rayo's a champion, no disrespect. Gotta say his name first. Rayo versus Gary Anton Russell. I'm leaning towards Rayo right now, but that's a good fight, man. Yeah, Deb moving on up to the east side, facts. Moving on up like the Jeffersons. It get real competitive at the NS gym. A lot of fighters visits that get real competitive. Seeing Andy Cruz F up a lot of. Speaking of Andy Cruz, bro, shout out to Andy Cruz, man. I will say this, man. I know I was on Andy Cruz head top a little bit about, but like I said, I always was fair. I always said that it's not necessarily his fault. I mean, he is saying it a lot too, but the media is mostly saying that he's Keyshawn Davis's father. I think it's a little silly, but I have to give him his credit now. Andy Cruz, I thought he looked a little shaky against Tony Moran. Yes, he got the stoppage, but he looked a little shaky. He struggled a little bit more than I anticipated. But he does only have 4 fights. You know, now he has 5, and he looked very good against Omar Salcido. Omar Salcido looked great on Pro Box when he beat Chris Colbert. So I give him a lot of credit for that. You know, that was a great win. He made it look easy in some spots, in a lot of spots. And, you know, and then this is why I give him credit, though. Forget all that. I'm talking about I give him credit for what he did out the ring. Andy Cruz, I love people that stand on business, man. If you talk that life, you bought that life. And he walked up. I'm not saying he walked up to Keyshawn Davis with no malicious intent or he went up there to try to punk him or nothing. But the fact that he approached him and walked up to him after talking all that trash, I gotta salute. I love real, bro. I do not like these Twitter warriors or these social media warriors or the internet warriors or the keyboard thugs. Like, if you're gonna talk that trash, then come talk to me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say it to me. And he did that. He walked up to Keyshawn Davis after the fight. You know what I'm talking about? I was talking to him. Now, I'm not saying that they were talking like they were going to scrap or nothing like that, but he approached him and met him in real life. So now, to me, he could call Keyshawn Davis whatever you want. I thought it was weak to predicate your persona based off your amateur interactions. But now, hey, I saw it now. I saw it. I saw Andy Cruz approach Keyshawn. And I respect it. That's why I like Caleb Plant so much. Because Caleb Plant, you talk crazy, he might slap your ass. Go upside your head. I love that energy. So shout out to Andy Cruz, man. He definitely. I already liked Andy Cruz before. You know, I never disliked him. I just thought that was corny. You know, with them talking about, oh yeah, Keyshawn Davis is his son. Because what happened to amateurs? I mean, Keyshawn Davis is ahead of you right now. He's going to fight Berinchek. But I always think that anybody should call out everybody. But I thought he was being a little over anxious and overzealous. You know, but. When I saw him approach not only Keyshawn and Shakur, I was like, okay. I thought him and Keyshawn are more rivals than having beef. I mean, that's the same thing though. I mean, I'm not talking about like beef, like I mean, yeah, I feel like I said it clear. So, yeah, but I thought it was. People will talk one way, and then when they see you talk differently, you know what I'm saying, or not even approach you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm not saying beef like they're gonna shoot each other. But I'm saying, like, you calling somebody your son, and then when you get in their face, you quiet. Andy Cruz is not like that, so I respect that. To be honest, Kasesa, to be CH, Kasesa won the second fight, shock track. That's crazy. To be completely honest, that's a new one. I never knew that acronym. I didn't know what the C was. I thought you were talking about some drugs, THCs or something. TBCH. To be completely honest, I guess, right? I think that's right. Is that right, Stick Talk? My boy Stick Talk in the building. He said, to be completely honest, Kasesa won the second fight, shock track. That's crazy. That's crazy. Keyshawn and Tank might get messy. Well, yeah, that's different because, you know, but even still, I think that Tank would approach him. I think Keyshawn would approach him. Well, I don't know because, you know, I remember with Keyshawn and Frank Martin, when Frank Martin approached Keyshawn, when Keyshawn was talking greasy, Keyshawn ain't saying nothing. I remember this. And shout out to my boy Ty for bringing it back up to my attention, bringing it to my attention again. I never forget that too. When Keyshawn was talking crazy about Frank Martin, and Frank Martin was mid-interview. He saw Keyshawn. He said, hold on. And he went to approach Keyshawn. And Keyshawn, he ain't had that energy. He did not have that same energy. But then when they brought the cameras, it's like Keyshawn noticed the cameras, and all of a sudden he got bucked. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking Keyshawn. I'm just saying that's what it was. Like, go watch that situation. You go look at it. Frank Martin pressed Keyshawn, and Keyshawn didn't have the same energy. He was just smiling and laughing like, oh, it's just jokes. But then when he noticed the camera, then all of a sudden he went back in WWE mode. I'm saying that Andy Cruz wasn't like that, you know, and I respect that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's real beef or not, but you know, everybody don't keep the same energy, whether it's real beef or not. If you talking trash to me, then you should at least approach me. You know what I'm saying? If you see me, not saying they got to be on no scrapping stuff. Nah, hell no. Nah. But you know, it's like Tank and Devin Haney when they see each other. You know, Tank will press Devin Haney or not. You know, that don't mean something's gonna happen, but they definitely they're not ducking and dodging each other. And I don't think Devin Haney's ducking and dodging Tank either, you know. But the times I see them interact is because Tank approaches. Oscar Rivals, who lost to heavyweight Dylan White. Oscar Rivas, who lost to his first Bridgerweight champ, beating Ryan Rozicki. Ryan Rozicki, okay. The guy who was fighting Badu Jack. Yeah, yep. I know Ryan Rozicki, the Canadian fighter. Yep, I know Ryan Rozicki at Cruiserweight. That's what I'm talking about, MAW. I don't even... Thank you for that, MAW. I'm not watching Bridgerweight. I'm sorry. I'm good on that. I'm be honest, I really don't even like Cruiserweight. Cruiserweight just got excited for me because, and no disrespect to Job Pataya is good. So was Alexander Usyk and stuff, but I like Gilberto Ramirez. So that's really what, of course, you know, I watch boxing. I like boxing, but one of the most least interesting weight classes, I know a lot of people say the smaller weights, but to me, the least interesting weight class is Cruiserweight. But now, I mean, of course, Bridgerweight above that, but now Cruiserweight has got some momentum. And, you know, but I used to watch Cruiserweight when Holyfield and even after that, BJ Flores. Remember BJ Flores? I used to watch Cruiserweight, but I don't really enjoy Cruiserweight. I just see him as guys that aren't disciplined enough to be at 175 or not big enough to be at heavyweight. So who pressing who like that? Andy Cruz walked down on him. I don't want to say he pressed. Like I said, I want to say he pressed him. I just like the fact that he approached him when he had the opportunity to. He ain't like, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to talk trash, but then when you see somebody like, don't duck and dodge him. And he didn't do that, so I respect that. And not all people do that, not just fighters, but some people, they'll talk trash about somebody, then when they see him, they avoid him. You know, Cruz on shaky legs, still standing in the pocket. He can finesse a fight, no doubt, but still see shaky, reacts heavy to exchanges in the pocket. It'll happen. I agree. I think Keyshawn Davis wins that fight. But I think it'll be good, you know, because, hey, like I said, that is very interesting. That situation is interesting. The amateur background is interesting if they're going to fight. If they're not going to fight, I don't care what happened to amateurs. Floyd Mayweather wasn't undefeated in amateurs. Do you care? Or do we just talk about him being 50-0? Sean Porter and Alexander Usyk fought in the amateurs. Do you care? Or we just talk about Usyk being undisputed and Sean Porter being a Hall of Famer? Who cares? I don't get why people are so... I feel like people get infatuated with amateur backgrounds when they like or don't like somebody. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I care about it when I'm watching them in the amateurs or I'm watching the Olympics, but I don't give a damn who. I don't care that Anthony Joshua beat Zhale Zhang in the Olympics. I know that because I watch boxing, but I don't care. I want to see Anthony Joshua do it again in the pros. I don't care about sparring stories, bro. I don't care. Sparring is practice. Maybe because I was an amateur boxer and I just don't. I know it doesn't mean much. Of course, it's a stepping stone in preparation, but it's like. I don't know, bro. I'm trying to think. It's like, let me give you another situation. It's like a CEO or something like that talk about they used to be a bagger. They used to bag groceries at Publix. That's not going to help you get a partnership deal with another company or a sponsorship deal for your company or endorsements for your company because of what you did when you were 15. Now, it's cool when you talk about your humble beginnings. It's interesting if we're doing a biopic or we're doing a documentary. Yeah, it's cool you had humble beginnings, but it doesn't help you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't care about that. If you're trying to establish your dominance in doing something more advanced, and pros is the most advanced. You know what I'm talking about? No, like when I was getting my PhD, they ain't asked me about my grades in the 3rd grade. Who cares? I'm here now. So we at the pros now. I don't care. I don't care what you did. It's cool to talk about. It's a cool talking point if they're fighting, but if they're not fighting, who gives a damn? Who cares? I just feel like people care about that because they don't like Keyshawn. So they're trying to, if they don't like Keyshawn and Andy Cruz beat him, then okay, I'm gonna go rock with Andy Cruz because Andy Cruz beat him in amateurs. So Keyshawn's scared to fight him now because he lost him in amateurs. I mean, Jerron Boots Ennis lost to Gary Anton Russell. Like I said, if I told you Gary Anton Russell and Jerron Boots Ennis fighting tomorrow, is anybody going to pick Gary Anton Russell because he won in the amateurs? No. But if I tell you he won in the amateurs, then you're going to be like, okay, I might pick him now. But no one cares. You're going to go off of what you see in the pros. Or what you see in the pros, you'll be a damn fool if you pick Gary Anton Russell over Jerron Boots Ennis right now. You're going to go off what you've seen in the pros, right? So what I see in the pros against Keyshawn Davis and Andy Cruz, I don't see why Keyshawn Davis would be scared of Andy Cruz. So that father-son stuff is overhyped to me, in my personal opinion. But when Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, since they had amateur backgrounds and they finalized their fight, now I'm going to go look at the amateur. Okay, bet it's interesting now because I know they were 3-3 and, you know what I'm saying, they have a rivalry. And, you know, that was part of the reason why I picked Devin Haney to lose, why I picked Ryan Garcia to win against Devin Haney before I knew about PEDs and stuff like that. That is part of the reason why, but I didn't think I had nothing to do with it before. I wasn't like I was saying, oh, yeah, man, you know, I can't wait to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia to fight because they fought in the amateurs. Like, who cares? Gary was a man in the amateurs. Talk to him, NPR. Exactly what? Damn, homie. In high school, you was a man, homie. Who's that, 50 Cent? Come on, man. What the freak happened to you? Good example. Thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, Kendrick. I appreciate that, bro. Styles make fights, and Keyshawn temperament and fighting style doesn't fare well against Andy. Bomac going to be coaching triple time. Yeah, and that's a good point. He's a good boxer. That's a good point. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Andy Cruz loses to Keyshawn. But I'm leaning towards if I had to put money on it, which I don't think I wouldn't put money on that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would put money on it. I probably would. I'd probably put money on that. I'd put my money on Keyshawn if I had to. But I think it's a good fight. Yeah, like he didn't go life or death with Can. Can you dig it? You get that's true. That's true. Folks make it seem like Keyshawn is levels. No, I don't think he's levels above. I don't think I know you said folks. I know you're not isolating me, but I think he's levels above him, not from a skill standpoint. I'm saying from a positional standpoint, like what position he's in. He's in a position to fight for a title. That's what I mean by him being above. Andy Cruz is supposed to call out. Andy Cruz not doing nothing wrong. I'm just saying the people with this banter saying that Keyshawn is scared. It doesn't make sense to me. Keyshawn has no reason to fight him. I'm not saying I wouldn't be mad at that fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody else. I'm speaking for me. And I know you're not, like I said, I know you're not just talking to me. You're talking about people in general. Because I know you would point me out individually. But I'm just speaking on that, you know. I can't speak for everybody. I just speak for myself. I don't think that Keyshawn and Andy Cruz fight can't happen. I just think as a chat. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I understand, Ty. I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I know you have no problem at me when I'm right or wrong. So no, I appreciate that too. Yeah, please. Yeah. I just want to expound upon that. I do think that just for myself speaking, I don't think Andy Cruz doing anything wrong. But I just think the people that are saying like, oh, Keyshawn Davis is scared of him because he beat him. I'm like, Keyshawn Davis doesn't really have a reason to fight him. But I just think from where he's at in his career right now, from a position, number one, I would love for that fight to marinate even more. How big would that fight be if it's a unification fight? Or it don't have to be unification, but like even just like Keyshawn gets a title from Berinchik, you know, that's a good fight too. It's not a foregone conclusion from where I'm sitting. I think Keyshawn beats Berinchik, but it's not like automatic for me. Some people think Keyshawn will slaughter Berinchik. Maybe they're right. I could be wrong. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I do think Keyshawn's gonna win. But let's say like Andy Cruz gets to like be like a number one contender. That's an even better fight now. Let's say they could get unified. That's an even better fight now. So I personally like for that fight to marinate. Number one, but number two, like I said, I just don't see if I'm Keyshawn. Why am I fighting? Why am I fighting Andy Cruz? What does Andy Cruz do for me? Nothing. Andy Cruz has 5 fights. That does nothing for me. So, but you know, I just think it's so funny though, Ty. People will say that Keyshawn is scared of Andy Cruz, but Kendrick, you know who they don't say scared of? Ain't that right, NPR? NAOYA INOUE is politics. NAOYA INOUE is not because he's scared of MJ Akmadali. It's not because he's ducking. It's because it's politics. Okay. But Keyshawn is scared of Andy Cruz, who hasn't been ordered, who's not a champion, who's not even in line to be a champion, nor is Keyshawn. Keyshawn's not even a champion, but we're talking about Keyshawn being scared of Andy Cruz. But if it's sacrilegious to say that NAOYA INOUE is ducking and scared of MJ Akmadali because it's politics. Ain't that right, Mansa? Fucking clown. Shut up. Shame on me. Shout out to my boy Mansa. I shouldn't say that. I take that back. Mansa's my guy. My fault. I should have said that. Mansa's my guy, but the people who think like Mansa, you know, it's always politics, and there's always an excuse for guys that they like. But with actuality, when it doesn't make sense, they want to just hypothetically say this person is ducking because they feel that way. Yeah. I always say F your feelings, man. What is it actually? Forget your, my bad, NPR. It's not because I don't like NAOYA INOUE. I just got a lot of, because when I speak on NAOYA INOUE, a lot of people come out the woodworks and act like I'm crucifying them. But we got to be fair, man. If we're gonna say Andy Cruz is being ducked by Keyshawn, if we're gonna say Canelo is ducking Benavidez, if we're gonna say Tank is ducking Shakur, if we're gonna say whoever else, AJ is ducking Bacoli or Zayla Zhang, then we gotta say NAOYA INOUE is ducking MJ Ahmadali, because out of everybody I just named, NAOYA INOUE is the only one that's been ordered at all, let alone twice, to fight a guy that he's not fighting while simultaneously keeping the freaking belt. Like, so if you want to talk about ducks, bro, don't pick and choose, bro. Be 100. Shout out to my boy Ty. Shout out to my boy Ryan. Ryan said that Canelo ducks Benavidez. I disagree, but that's what he said. But Ryan also will say that he's ducking MJ, that NAOYA INOUE is ducking MJ Ahmadali. Just be consistent, bro. That's all I ask for, consistency. I don't care if you're gonna say, if you don't say INOUE's ducking, you can't say nobody else is ducking. If you're gonna say that Canelo's ducking, you have to say INOUE's ducking. Don't be biased, bro. Like, you sound like one of INOUE's hoes. I guess you one of INOUE's hoes. I don't know. Maybe you one of INOUE's hoes. I don't know. Maybe he got you into, I don't know, man. Maybe he get you discounts with the geishas. I don't. Maybe he got that punani for cheap for you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he get you in the brothels in the geisha house for free or something. Maybe that's why. Maybe it behooves you to, you know what I'm saying, financially, or I don't know, I don't know. Maybe some way you it's beneficial for you to be one of his groupies. I don't know. But you some of these grown men act like INOUE hoes. Bringing that money to the city. Yeah. Bam, Tank, and Devin are in top 10 because they're American. That's crazy. Hey, yo. Hey, this man said Bam, Tank, and Devin are in the top 10 because they're American. That is crazy. Bro, y'all be so disrespectful now. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good one. Hey, I'll be right back, chat. Let me go grab a water, man. Oh, man, are the Charles officially retired yet? Jamal might be on the cusp, but he's back in the gym. I don't know if that, you know, you could be in the gym and not be retired. I mean, you could be in the gym and still be retired, so I don't know. But it looks like Jamel's coming back, George. Shout out to my boy George in the building. I'll be right back. My boy said that. My boy said they're in the way only. Facts. Duh. My boy said they're in there because they're American. Hey, yo. He said they're in there because they're American. Oh man, that's funny, man. My bad, chat. I apologize. I should have ran an ad on y'all. My fault. Oh man, that was too funny, bro. Okay, he said Bakari Shabaki versus Druns, Keyshawn Davis versus Sam Nosa. Hey, I'm not mad at that one. We'll type the whale in the chat. That's crazy, Oscar. Don't please don't do like Karma. Osbari David Morel Gutierrez Jr. was born in Santa Clara. Had to use his government name. Shout out to David Morel. Bro, that's this week, bro. That's this week, bro. Oh, my Lord. Who y'all got, man? I got David Benavidez, man. Bro, if David Morel wins, that'd be crazy, too. Like, not crazy because he's a good fighter, you know, but, like, man, that'd just be crazy. Y'all trying to do some predictions for Saturday? You left us on read. My bad, bro. I had to go take care of my dogs real quick, man. And then I used the bathroom too, man. My fault, y'all. I appreciate y'all patience though. Thank you. Don't forget to smack that like button. But what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So let's start the undercard, right? So we have Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. That's the co-main, right? Let's do Esau Pitbull Cruz versus Angel Fierro. You know, Angel Fierro, man. I got Pitbull. No reason, just going with Pitbull. I seen Angel Fierro fight like twice, I think. Y'all know I like Pitbull, so he's exciting. I'm going with Pitbull on that one. I don't really think no explanation needed. I don't really have one. Jesus Ramos versus Jason Rosario. That's gonna be a good fight. Jason Rosario got some power. Jesus Ramos is a very, very good fighter. 154-pound division. That division is hot. I got Jesus Ramos winning this one. We just saw his uncle, Abel Ramos, his Tio, fight against Mario Barrios to a draw. I think Jesus Ramos is gonna come with some serious intent. But we know what Jason Rosario is he's nothing to play with either. So I think it's gonna be an action-packed fight. But I got Jason Rosario. I mean, I got Jesus Ramos. Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. I think the smart money would be on Fulton because, you know, they have history, even though their history comes at 122. You know, Stephen Fulton beat Brandon Figueroa in a good fight. But I think he won. I don't think there was any question that there was no question that Fulton won. You know, he won convincingly. But for some reason, I just think 126 is going to benefit Brandon Figueroa. I'm primarily predicating that off of how I saw Stephen Fulton's last performance against Castro, which he got hurt a couple times. He got dropped too, didn't he? Did he get dropped? I don't remember if he got dropped, but yeah, he definitely got hurt though. And you know, but he has the ability to outbox Brandon Figueroa, and that was his debut at 126, and he was coming off of a long layoff, you know, with Stephen Fulton. So there's some reasons to pick Stephen Fulton. Like I said, plus he has the win over him already. I think the smart money would be on Stephen Fulton, but for some reason I'm going with Brandon Figueroa at 126. I think it'll benefit him a little more with his style, and I think he could. I don't know. We'll see though, man. That's interesting, man. But yeah, I'm going with Brandon Figueroa. Stephen Fulton on Demon Time, no cap. Hey, let me have Big Turk. I would have started a tournament called somebody. Oh, gotta go. Hey, I like that. You got Esau Cruz and Jesus Ramos. Okay, we 1-1 on there. Turk has a spoil, bro. $80. I'm not going. TikTok got my. I don't blame you. I'm not going. My boy Ty got Stephen Fulton. Okay, this is where we separate right here. I got Brandon Figueroa. And then the main event, man. I just think Brandon Figueroa is gonna be able to take punches a little better. And I'm just not sure. I feel like he'll be able to get to Stephen Fulton a little more, but Stephen Fulton may. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if I'm putting money on that one. But right now I'm leaning towards Brandon Figueroa. Yeah. He got the replays the next day, boy. Big Turk be putting the replays on the next day. But next fight, we got the main event, man. David on David crime, man. David on David crime. David Benavides versus Osvari Morel, head ass Jr. David Morrell, Dave Benavidez. This fight's a good fight, man. A fight that we wanted. I think we should salute both Davids. David Morrell for pursuing the fight. David Benavidez for accepting the fight. This is a fight that does not have to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think it's happening a little prematurely, but I'm happy with it. You know, I'm glad it's happening. But at the same time, I think they could have held off, and they have no reason to fight each other. They're both in great positions to get the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol, especially if Beterbiev wins again. You know, because if Bivol wins, then it'll be a trilogy, a rematch, right? Because it'll be 1-on-1. But I think what's it called? Them both being an interim champion and a regular champion. I think Benavidez is a regular champion and Morrell's an interim champion, or vice versa, but they don't need to fight each other, right? Because they're both, and so is Joshua Buatsi. They're all in position to get a title shot at their next fight, but Dave Benavidez and Dave Morrell decided to fight each other, so shout out to them. They're giving the fans what we want. And I think it's a great fight, man. And at 168, I lean towards Benavidez, but at 175, I think Morrell has a much better chance. He always had a chance. It was always a good fight, 168 or 175. But I think at 168, it benefited Benavidez more. I think at 175, I think Morrell's body is more, in their last fights, to be his look. Neither one of them had a super impressive performance. You know, with Benavidez versus Vosdik, who's a former champion, and Morrell versus Hot Rod Kaladzik. However, I think that Vosdik is a much more formidable opponent because he was a former champion, and he also shared the ring with Beterbiev. So did Kaladzik too. But I think Benavidez had the harder opponent, and then neither one of them looked exactly too impressive. But to me, Morrell's body looked a little more acclimated and ready for 175 than Dave Benavidez does. To me, Dave Benavidez's body still looks a little soggy. He doesn't look as physically imposing as he does at 168. So that's why I think David Morrell makes it a closer fight. But I still think Benavidez wins. So I got Benavidez winning against Morrell. But we'll see, man. I think I'm deviating on buying it or pirating it because that February 22nd card is crazy and it's only $25. I'm not mad at you, bro. Do your thing. Do what works for your pockets. You know what I'm talking about? Too many undefeated not fighting each other, taking this competitive edge off fights. I ain't gonna lie, Stick Talk. I agree with that, but I disagree with that. I agree with it from the point that, yeah, I want to see more unifications. You know my team. But I'm not going for fights not being interesting because it's not two undefeated fighters, you know? Yeah, I don't think that I'm cool with, I don't think people necessarily aren't taking risks because they're not fighting undefeated fighters. Let me say that in that way. Undefeated fighter doesn't always mean that you're good. And not being undefeated doesn't necessarily mean that you're bad, you know? I don't think that people are necessarily, like, for example, I don't think people are necessarily not taking risks. I just think that they want their risks to match the reward. And you should always want that, right? Don't you always want your risk to match your reward no matter what you do? You want the compensation to at least justify you taking this chance on something. So I think a lot of times these fighters aren't in a position. Like 147, for example, right? I like Boots. I think Boots is the best. But it's important that he fights the other champions for me to know that he's the best and further establish himself as the best, because they don't fight in our heads. They fight in the ring. So, but I don't think that Stanionis, Norman, or Barrios are ducking Boots. I do not agree with that. I don't subscribe to that notion that they're all scared of Boots. I think Boots is the best, but to me, Boots doesn't look that much better than any of them to the point where I think that they're scared, man. These guys are warriors, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they're scared. I just think that for whatever reason, they're not being compensated appropriately, or, you know, the valuation is not, their valuation is not matching what they think of themselves, you know? So if you're not going to give me the amount of money that I think I deserve for fighting this guy, then damn right I'm not going to fight him. I don't think, what's wrong with that? I don't think, so I think that, you know, Eddie Hearn finally broke the bank a little bit, opened up that wallet, and that's why the Stanionis and Boots fight is happening now. You see what I'm saying? I don't think Stanionis is braver than Norman or braver than Barrios. I just think that he offered him an appropriate amount of money and he finally accepted. Because if you pay attention to Stanionis, why did Stanionis say he's not fighting Boots before? Every single time. He said because he said that they don't give a serious offer. That's what he said. Literally, you can look it up. He said, hey, man, he said, we don't even entertain their offers because they don't come with any numbers that are serious. He said they throw BS numbers at us. Barrios, not only did Barrios say that, but his trainer, Bob Santos, also said the same thing. He said, hey, man, you got to pay us the amount of money that we want to fight Boots. And Brian Norman, what did he say? People were mad at Brian Norman because, to me, Brian Norman was trying to prove too much and to the public, you know, which at first he was just being transparent. But then, you know, when you're transparent, when you give somebody an inch, fortunately, a lot of these goofies on the internet, particularly on the internet, you give them an inch, they start to feel entitled. Instead of appreciating his transparency and him being open with the offers and the negotiations, they felt like they should be in the room with you while you're negotiating. Like all of a sudden everybody was a lawyer and everybody was a financial advisor and everybody was a boxing promoter and they were telling everybody what they're worth and based on what you had before. Like, bitch, why shouldn't Brian Norman want more than what he had before? He wasn't a champion before. That's like if I get a degree, if I get a high school diploma and I have a job, once I get my bachelor's, bitch, you better believe that I want to get a lot more than I was getting with my high school diploma if I have a bachelor's now. If I have a master's, I better get more at my next job for my master's than I did with my bachelor's and my high school diploma. And then when I have a PhD like I have, you better believe I'm not accepting a job that's going to pay me the same as I would have got getting having a high school diploma, a bachelor's or master's. That defeats the purpose. So when people say that dumb stuff and they say it loudly and proudly and they say it convincingly, doesn't mean that they're any more correct. People were making Brian Norman Jr., who they never heard of a fight before that, who actually was in his first 12-round fight against Giovanni Santillan, who actually was an underdog, so much of an underdog, he went and fought Giovanni Santillan in his backyard and beat him for a belt. That was his first 12-round fight. In fact, he only had 2 or 3 10-round fights before that. No one heard of this man. And they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he can't ask for more money. Well, he's a champion now. Of course he should ask for more money. His next fight should be his biggest payday. Even if he's not fighting Boots, it might not be as much money as he could have got with Boots, but it'll still be more than what it was before. And if I'm going to take a bigger risk for bigger stakes, I should get compensated more. So I don't know why people are acting like that was criminal. But anyway, he said that they offered him a lot of money, but it still wasn't an appropriate amount. It wasn't a sufficient amount for what they felt they should get. He didn't say anything different than Stanionis. He didn't say anything different than Barrios. He didn't say anything different than Bob Santos, but people were mad at him because it's easier to get mad at certain people in this life, you know, than it is at others. It's more welcoming, you know, it's more welcomed and more encouraged and more satisfactory for you to get mad at people that look a certain way than it is for others, you know, especially when they don't have a big backing behind them, you know. But they've all said the same thing. I don't think that they all had a practice recital, you know. I don't think they all rehearsed what they're gonna say in the media. If the media asks them why didn't they fight Boots, they're like, okay, you're gonna tell them you don't have enough money, I'm gonna tell them I don't have enough money, and you're gonna tell them they didn't get in the room and rehearse that. It's just the truth, whether you want to believe it or not. I believe them. I could be wrong. They could all be lying. That's a possibility. They could all rehearse the same thing and all said the same thing coincidentally, you know, or it could have been coincidental, or they could have rehearsed it. It could have been planned. Or they could have just been telling the truth and they weren't getting enough money to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. And now they are. So now the fight's happening. So yeah, I don't think everybody that doesn't fight is because somebody's scared. I just think that there's a business side that needs to be explored. Like, I don't think, as let's go to cruiserweight. I don't think Zerto didn't fight Jai Apataya yet because he's scared, or Jai Apataya scared of Zerto, or Chris Billiam Smith was scared of Jai Apataya, but he wasn't scared of Zerto. I don't think that. I just think that maybe Chris Billiam Smith, maybe the timing wasn't right, maybe the amount of money wasn't right, maybe you know what I'm saying? It's like, or let me give you another example. Hamza Shiraz. A lot of people are saying Hamza Shiraz is scared of Janibek because he chose to go the WBC route against Carlos Adames. Well, I mean, if I'm in an advantageous position to where I could choose my destiny, why wouldn't I go the path of least resistance and save the guy who I think is a harder fight? Why wouldn't I say that for last? That's just basic economics. You know what I'm saying? And then that fight would be even bigger. It'll be the risk will match the reward, because now you're fighting the quote unquote best person in the division in Janibek, but you're bringing a piece of the hardware too. And now you have more negotiating power. You have more leverage. And so now you can get more and maximize the fight. So why not try to beat Carlos? I don't agree. I think Carlos Adames beats Hamza Shiraz. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I'm leaning towards Carlos Adames. But apparently Frank Warren, who's Hamza Shiraz promoter, and Hamza Shiraz, they feel that the path of least resistance to a championship is through Carlos Adames. I don't think it's because he's scared of Janibek. It's just that, hey, he thinks he has a bigger chance of winning, and he was in an advantageous position of being a mandatory for the WBC and the WBO, and that's what happens when you have the opportunity to choose, and he chose. So yeah, I don't think that's I just don't think that everybody's scared, especially because they're undefeated. You know, like Frank Martin was undefeated, he fought Tank. I don't think you fight Tank if you scared of losing your O. That's definitely the wrong person to fight if you're scared of losing your O. I do think that some people are less hesitant, yeah, to put themselves in dangerous situations. I do. I agree, for sure. I agree with that stick talk. Absolutely. But I don't think everybody's scared. I think we overuse that. God bless. Hey, man, shout out my boy Irony in the building, man. God bless you, brother. He said, oh, yeah, Frank Warren always trying to protect his guys. Oh, man. Maybe. I don't know. Floyd sold that record like Mr. Perfect in wrestling. Right, rightfully so. But don't expect another Floyd anytime soon. That's it. That's it. I was speculating that Eddie was a problem the whole time. That just confirms it. No, we talked about that, Kendrick. You're absolutely right. We said that. I've said that. And y'all know I like Eddie, but bro, I don't pull any punches, man. When Gervonta Davis, I thought he was wrong about what he said about Terrence Crawford and in regards to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I thought he was wrong. I said that. When I always say to people all the time, I say I think Canelo should fight David Benavidez. I think he's wrong for not fighting him. I wish he would fight him. I say that all the time. I just don't go overboard, and I'm not an extremist, and I don't get ridiculous and say, oh, he should have fought him because he was ordered. No, bitch, he was never ordered. But I wish he would have fought him. You know, so with Eddie Hearn, I was the bro. People, I mean, you remember that time when Brian Norman wasn't fighting Boost? How many people came in talking trash to me, saying, "Oh, bro, you know what you talking about? Brian Norman ducking him." I'm like, no, he's not ducking him. I believe him when he say Eddie Hearn is not offering the appropriate amount of money. Like, you think that Eddie Hearn wants to pay people what they're worth? He would be bad at his job if he wanted to pay everybody what they're worth besides his guys. I'm not saying Eddie Hearn gave him a bad offer, but it didn't mean there. Why are people acting like it's beyond the realm of possibility that he could have lowballed him? I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn lowballs everybody. That's the whole point of negotiations. If there was no lowballs, then you would just take it or leave it, or you'll take the first offer, and there'll be no need for negotiations. Everybody, Oscar De La Hoya lowballs, Eddie Hearn lowballs, Al Heyman lowballs, Frank Warren lowball. Duh. Of course Eddie Hearn was a problem because that's what Stanionis said that. And when I pointed out, I said Stanionis said, no, I laugh at the Eddie Hearn offer. Of course, it was Eddie Hearn. So people get mad at these fighters. You get mad at them if you want to. If you just think that it's gladiator sport and this is just you and everybody meets up in the middle of the street to fight to see who the toughest is, then you keep going with that hood mentality. I'm not even gonna say hood mentality, just stupid mentality. This is not people lining up on the schoolyard ready to fight to see who the toughest is. It's a business, bro. If you're not getting compensated to or getting close to what you desire, then why would you fight? Of course you want to be the best, but you also want to be compensated for your efforts and your pursuit of greatness. Eddie has a behavior. Exactly. Has a behavioral pattern. Exactly. It's not the first. Exactly. Facts. P is about witness because we talked about this plenty of times. Exactly. We've been talking about this. You exactly. So you are not wrong. You were not speculating. I give you more credit than that. It was not speculation. It was you made an educated guess. You know, that speculated is taking it out your ass. You know what I'm talking about? You just saying it because you have no evidence. No, you had evidence because I had evidence. We all had evidence. Absolutely. That was not no speculation. You said that because that's what the breadcrumbs led to. There was evidence to show that Eddie Hearn was the issue. You absolutely was the issue. We can't believe promoters, they're gonna lie. Exactly, like used car salesman. Duh. You go to a car lot. Not even it don't even have to be a used car. You go to a car lot and you pay the price that's listed there. Either you got bad, your credit is terrible, or you just dumb. Like of course you never pay that. I don't care if it's $5 less than the asking price. You never pay that. Certain situations you are supposed to negotiate. That's part of the buying process. For things like that, you know, when you even the salary, Like, if, and I'm not talking about negotiate a job, and no disrespect to anybody. I'm not minimizing or dismissing anybody's occupation. But let's say like out of high school or something like that, you go for a job as a grocery store clerk or a bagger or a cashier or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Or you working at a fast food restaurant, dropping fries, or whatever it is, you know, or a janitor, doing janitorial service, all respectable jobs, but you don't really negotiate in those. But if you have an annual, if you're going for a job, you're applying for a job and you have an annual salary and you have benefits and you have PTO, pay time off, bitch, you better negotiate. They're gonna lowball you. And I'm not saying extreme lowball. I'm not saying they're gonna give you pennies on the dollar or half of your worth, but they're not gonna give you what your maximum earning potential is or what they see you're gonna. And if you do get that, you will get that for some places, but you got to negotiate. People are just, I don't know what y'all think this is, bro. You have this childish mentality. Oh, well, you know, Tank and Shakur should fight because I think that they're both great and they should just fight by any means necessary. No, bitch. They like in boxing, like, don't you know boxing works off negotiations? Negotiating the purse split. You're negotiating who walks out first. You're negotiating who's in the red corner, blue corner. You're negotiating the ring size. You're negotiating the brand of gloves. You're negotiating the size of gloves. Bro, there's so many negotiations. Sometimes you're negotiating the revenue split of the venue. You know what I'm saying? For stuff that's bought in the venue during the fight, like the commissions and the concessions. Sometimes you may even negotiate, if your star power is big enough, you may even negotiate a percentage of the tickets sold to get in the building. Like people, I don't know, that y'all have this freaking elementary mentality, bro. This childish mentality, bro. It's business, dog. I'm not saying that we gotta like it. I'm not saying that it's cool for us to know, but just because you want to put your head in the sand and you want to be oblivious to it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. If the car seller didn't see your back on the last offer, you didn't get the best price. Talk to him. He told you to sleep up your finesse. he told you to step up your finesse. Hey, leave the used car salesman out of this. I sold cars, but not gonna lie. My boss told me I don't lie enough. Yeah, facts. Yeah, you gotta lie. And unfortunately, that's why I could never be a used car salesman. I got too much of a, and no disrespect, I'm not saying that people that do it are heartless, but I mean, certain ways you got to know what you could do, and I couldn't do that because I'm trying to give people the best, best stuff. I'm not trying to get over on anybody, so I couldn't be a used cars. I couldn't be a car. I couldn't be a car salesman. Used cars, new cars, whatever. I couldn't do it. I don't like lying. Exactly. I don't like lying, bro. I do not like lying. I don't know if y'all ever see Knives Out. I don't throw up when I lie, but I do feel bad. I like that movie Knives Out. Remember she had some type of regurgitative reflex when she lied, or when she thought about lying or said a lie, she threw up. That's crazy. She can't lie about nothing. Canelo in the building. What's good, bro? But yeah, chatty. Go get me some food, man. You know, your boy is hungry. Your boy is hungry, man. I gotta eat something, so. But yeah, man, so to put a bow on it, man, shout out to Andy Cruz. You know, I like the way he approached Keyshawn. I like that. I respect it. Shout out to NAOYA INOUE for being the beneficiary of some silly ass rankings. I don't know how you get. Hey, did anybody find that for me, chat? People forget the fighter has people on their. Exactly. Oh, I didn't even say that part, Dub. You got to pay your sparring partners. You got to pay your coaches. You got to pay your trainers. You know what I'm talking about? People be talking crazy, bro. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna find it, bro. No. Before I get off, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna at least find that I can't find it, cause y'all got me messed up. Got me fucked up. I'm trying to find it, chat. It looks like he was right though, because I'm seeing one from January 21st. I'm okay. I found one for January 21st, and Inoue still number 2. So it looks like James Daly was right. Wait, no. Oh, I'm tripping. This is 2025. I'm looking at January 21st of 2024. My fault. I take that back. Sorry. Retract that statement. Rewind. I forgot we're in 2025. My bad. Head ass. I'm talking about, I see one for January 2024. He was right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Still, though, I don't see anything. So I think he was right. I was wrong, man. I see one from January 22. And okay, there it is right here. January 22, 2025. Now Inoue was number 2. So I was wrong. I could have sworn Terrence Crawford was number 2. So shout out to James Daly. He was right. I was wrong. I could have sworn I saw Naoya Inoue number 2. I thought he was number 2. I thought he was number 3 after he beat TJ Doheny. I thought Terrence Crawford was number 2. So yeah, James Daly's right. He was right and I was wrong. I could have sworn maybe I saw something old. So he didn't move. He just made he didn't move. Yeah, Bud hasn't been number 2 since Madrimov. Yeah, so he didn't move. He just didn't. I mean, sorry, he didn't move up. He just didn't move at all. Yeah, because TJ Doheny, moved to number 3 in October. Thank you. Yes, because after he beat Madrimov, he was number 2. And then TJ Doheny fought TJ Doheny in October and got back to number 2, which I think is crazy. Right. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, so I was wrong about that. My bad. Thank you. Shout out to James Daly. So James Daly was correct. Inoue, so I was wrong about saying that Inoue moved to number 2. But it's still crazy that he's still number 2. To me, he should have moved down for fighting Ju Kim. Because his last 3 opponents, let's look at his last 3 opponents. I want to show you this. Yi Jun Kim. Yi Jun Kim was 21-2-2. Y'all can see that, right? Yi Jun Kim is now 21-3-2. Y'all see that, right? So when Naoya Inoue fought him, Yi Jun Kim was 21-2-2. And I guarantee you didn't know anybody he fought. I know he lost to a guy on short notice named Diesel. Right? That was his last fight. 10 days notice. The guy was 21-2-2 at the time. Now he's 21-3-2. So he lost twice and had 2 draws before Naoya Inoue beat him. Then the guy he fought before that was TJ Doheny. TJ Doheny was 26-4 before Naoya Inoue beat him. Now he's 26-5. These are his last 3 opponents. And then before that was Louis Neary. I give Marlon Tapales, even though Marlon Tapales was 37-3, I still give him that because that was for undisputed. So I don't care how you get undisputed. That's undisputed. You got to respect that. But Louis Neary was 35-1 before Naoya Inoue beat him. Now he's 35-2. He got knocked out before Naoya Inoue beat him. He got knocked out by Brandon Figueroa in the 7th round by a body shot. So his last 3 opponents were TJ Doheny, Louis Neary, and Yi Jun Kim. His last 3 opponents had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses between them. But you're mad at other guys who are fighting undefeated, highly ranked opponents. Yi Jun Kim wasn't ranked. We know that. Short notice. TJ Doheny wasn't ranked until the fight was called. Louis Neary wasn't ranked until the fight was called. So, you know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez fought Edgar Berlanga, who was ranked number 1. But people were mad at that fight. Jaime Munguia was a highly ranked fighter, but people were mad at that fight. 2 undefeated fighters, young bulls. People were mad at that fight. People are mad at Frank Martin. Frank Martin was ranked higher than TJ Doheny, Louis Neary, and Yi Jun Kim combined. And he was undefeated when Tank fought him. And people are mad at that fight. Tank and Lamont Roach is not good, but at least he's a champion. At least Lamont Roach is a champion. Inoue versus Nick Ball, thoughts on that fight? That's tough, JK. If that fight happens, which is on track to fight for that fight to happen in December. I'm going with NAOYA, man. I'm going with Inoue. I know my boy Ryan's gonna be mad at me, but I'm going with Inoue over Nick Ball. Yeah, I think it's a good fight though, because Inoue is coming up to 126. Nick Ball's at 126. But he opened 22-24 at number 1. Yes, sir. He's only looking at his placement for activity, but for those that was in the chat claiming Bud was never number 1, gets on. Yeah, that was crazy. People said that they don't think Bud should be in the top 10 right now. A guy that's undisputed in 2 weight divisions, you know, the same thing that the number 1 guy, the number 2 guy have undisputed 2 weight divisions, but for some reason Terrence Crawford doesn't matter as much. Now you tell me what that sound like. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah. But Usyk being number 1, I think so. I think Bud should be number 2, and I think Inoue should be number 3 because his opponents are just not up to par. His opponents are not up to par. There's nothing impressive about beating Yi Jun Kim, the South Korean fighter, TJ Doheny, the Australian fighter, or Louis Neary, the Mexican fighter. There's nothing impressive about beating those guys at the time that he beat him. NAOYA Inoue was impressive when he beat Stephen Fulton. That was impressive. The American fighter. Was it impressive when he beat Marlon Tapales, a Filipino fighter? Yes, that was impressive. It was also impressive when he beat the other Filipino fighter, Hall of Famer, Nonito Flash Donaire, the Filipino Flash. That was impressive, but even Nonito Filipino Flash Donaire was old. Let's be honest. He was an older Filipino Flash, and he still took him, you know what I'm saying? That first fight was crazy, you know? Took him to the brink. Old Filipino Flash, so don't forget to smack that like button. Bud had arguably the second best fights of the guys in pound for pound. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people don't care that you move up to 154 in a new weight class in your debut and fight an undefeated champion. But people care when you fight Yi Jun Kim or TJ Doheny. How is Louis Neary not good? Not a good win. That definitely a good win. Louis Neary is not a good win. You like that win because of historical implications. Louis Neary is not a good win. Was Louis Neary a good win for? Did you know that Louis Neary got knocked out by Brandon Figueroa? Did you say that was a good win? I mean, I think it was a good win for Brandon Figueroa because it was the first time Louis Neary lost. But was that a good win? That was a good win. Oh, okay. How was that a good win? What has Louis Neary done? Tell me what Louis Neary has done, JK. He said Doheny was a good win because he's a former champ. He's a former champ. Oh, okay. TJ Doheny was 4-3 in his last 7 fights when NAOYA Inoue beat him. NAOYA Inoue was his 5th loss. That was not a good win. So that means okay. So Tank versus Lamont Rose, that's a great fight then. There's no bad wins then. Everybody's Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga was a great win then. Oh, okay. You don't think Jaime Munguia was a great win for Canelo though, right? But TJ Doheny's a good win. That's crazy. Bro, that's why I talk about the bias of these fans, bro. You're like, to me, that is literally hurting the sport, bro. I don't care if you like NAOYA. I like NAOYA Inoue. We're not gonna make shit up. I don't like Tank versus Lamont Roach. I'm not gonna say it's a great fight because I like Tank. But people do that. When they like somebody, they think that everything they do is perfect. Everything they can't be critiqued. They're infallible. This man just said TJ Doheny was a good win. That's insane, bro. A guy that was 4-3 in his last 7 fights before getting knocked out by Inoue. So I guess Nick Ball's about to fight TJ Doheny. That's going to be a good win for Nick Ball too, right? Let's keep the same energy, right? Nick Ball's that's a good win for Nick Ball, right? Because it's TJ Doheny, right? Boy, y'all are crazy, bro. Some people are crazy. Yeah, Mr. My Neck, My Back, right? That's crazy. That's crazy, JK. Shout out to JK. That's crazy. Stand on your beliefs, though, but that's crazy. I liked how he got put on his ass and he had that dog to get up and finish his fights. Opponent speaking on anyway. That's true. Yeah. No, I like that too. Don't get me wrong. I thought that it was impressive because how he got dropped and he came back, pushed through adversity and beat Louis Neary. And also, Stick Talk, I like the fight because Louis Neary, if you know the historical implications of that fight, Louis Neary literally cheated Yamanaka, right? A former Japanese champion, right? He cheated him not once but twice, right? He came in overweight and he came in on PEDs. So he beat Yamanaka in 4 rounds, gave Yamanaka his first loss, and then they had a rematch and he beat Yamanaka again. He stopped him he stopped him in less time. He stopped him in 2 rounds. So he got banned indefinitely by Japan. And in order to get revenge for their former champion, they called up NAOYA Inoue, like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? We gonna uplift this band. so Naoya Inoue could put the pause on him. That shit was gangster. You know what I'm saying? I love it. That's a great storyline. But do not confuse a good storyline and conflate a good storyline with a good opponent. There's nothing impressive about being Louis Neary. He's a cheater. Who thought Louis Neary was going to win that fight? That's why it was so crazy and added so much dramatic and theatrics, because he got dropped by a guy. You could hear the entire Japan, the entire country island of Japan, it got quiet. When Neary dropped Inoue, it got quiet because they couldn't believe it. If Neary would have beat Inoue, oh man, we would have seen some kamikaze shit. We would have seen some kamikaze shit for sure in Japan, because that would have been crazy. But outside of that, Louis Neary got knocked out by Brandon Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa lost to Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton got knocked out by Naoya Inoue. So Louis Neary, Naoya Inoue, when Naoya Inoue fought Louis Neary, he fought a guy that lost to a guy that he knocked out. Wait, let me say this properly. So when Naoya Inoue fought Louis Neary, he fought a guy that got knocked out by a guy that lost to a guy that Inoue knocked out. You see how that worked? And you're telling me that's a good fight. When Naoya Inoue fought Louis Neary, he was fighting a guy that got knocked out by a guy that lost to a guy that Naoya Inoue knocked out. Stephen Fulton beat Brandon Figueroa. Brandon Figueroa knocked out Louis Neary, and Inoue turned around and fought Louis Neary. But then you're telling me that MJ Akhmadaliev doesn't deserve the fight, even though he was ordered and he's the mandatory right now. And he has one loss, and that loss was a split decision loss to Marlon Tapales. So the guy that had one loss, and it was by split decision, he doesn't deserve the fight against Naoya Inoue because you're scared and you think that he'll beat him. But Louis Neary deserves a fight, and he got knocked out by a guy that lost to a guy that Inoue knocked out. Make it make sense. You can't. It's just subjective fandom, bro. Y'all sound like Inoue hoes. you sound like one of Inoue hoes. I think it was a good fight because I knew the historical implications. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, man, this storyline is dope. It's like some anime type storyline. You know what I'm talking about? You can put that in the movies. You know what I'm saying? You can make a biopic out of that whole Louis Neary, Inoue, Yamanaka situation. You can make a movie out of that. That'd be fire. You know what I'm talking about? But don't confuse that with Louis Neary being a formidable opponent. Stop it. Unless he had PEDs, unless they were going to let him on PEDs. If they let him on, now I would be impressed if they let him have PEDs. Put him on the same PEDs that he was on when he fought Yamanaka. Then I'd be impressed. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, exactly. Kendrick summed it up right well. Yeah, he's a clown. Anyway. And again, we all know Kim only got that fight because Goodman pulled out. Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's not Inoue's fault. I agree. Yeah, that's not Inoue's. Like I said, I like Inoue, so I'm happy to see Inoue. I'd rather see Inoue fight anybody than not fight at all. So I'm with you on that. JK. No argument there. But the argument is gonna come when you try to make it seem like TJ Doheny was a good opponent. No, he wasn't. Yuju Kim, it might not have been his fault, but that's not a good opponent. No, it wasn't. So stop it. Because you know what? Because the same people that are cool with Inoue fighting Yuju Kim or Inoue fighting Doheny, they say that they're mad at Lamont Roach. Well, Lamont Roach, like you just said, right? Why did Inoue fight Kim? Because Sam Goodman pulled out, right? Well, guess what? Tank is fighting Lamont Roach because Lomachenko pulled out. Lomachenko said he wants to retire. Lamont Roach was not Tank's first option. Matter of fact, Lamont Roach wasn't Tank's second option. That was Rayo Valenzuela. Rayo Valenzuela denied it, and shout out to Rayo because he shouldn't. He did the right thing. He said that he had a long training camp and a hard fight with Isa Pitbull Cruz. He would not be ready to fight Tank at the timeline that they wanted to fight him. So he declined. So that means Lamont Roach, if you stick with me now, Lamont Roach wasn't the first option. That was Lomachenko. He wasn't the second option. That would be Rayo Valenzuela. And he wasn't the third option. That would be Edwin De Los Santos because Edwin De Los Santos suffered an injury. And he wasn't ready to fight until Lamont Roach, who was ready to fight, finalized that fight with Tank. So Lamont Roach is the fourth option, but nobody mentions that. They just say, oh, look, they're mad at Lamont Roach. But you want to tell me that Inoue fought Kim due to circumstances. Well, give them same circumstances to everybody, bro. Let's be fair. Just be fair. And you got that goofy that shout out to my boy Kendrick. He put that clown in his place. You know, put him back in the circus. He said that Terrence Crawford only fought Errol Spence because he doesn't know fucking boxing. He's a dumbass that thinks he knows boxing. Because only a dumbass can say some dumb shit like that. Terrence Crawford ain't fighting nobody. But Yi Jun Kim is somebody. TJ Doheny is somebody. Louis Neary is somebody. He couldn't name 5 people that Inoue fought. He just likes Inoue, and that's cool. I like Inoue too. But you're gonna call Victor Postal an undefeated fighter, an undefeated champion that Terrence Crawford fought? You're gonna call him a nobody? That's what you say. I mean, if he only fought Errol Spence is the only somebody that Terrence Crawford fought. That means the undefeated champion Victor Postal is a nobody. That means Yuriokas Gamboa, the undefeated boogeyman. That's who Terrence Crawford beat. He was the first person to beat Yuriokas Gamboa. That means he's a nobody. That means Amir Khan, a former champion, is nobody. But you just told me TJ Doheny's good because he's a former champion. Not because he was a current champion. He was a former champion. But you're telling me that Terrence Crawford beating Sean Porter, a former champion, he's a nobody because he was a former champion. But TJ Doheny is a somebody because he was a former champion. No, you just sound like an Inoue hoe that just likes Inoue, so you're going to defend everything he does. If TJ Doheny's a somebody, Sean Porter's a somebody. Victor Postal's a somebody. Gamboa's a somebody. David Avanesian's a somebody. Errol Spence's a somebody. Israel Madrimov, an undefeated champion at 154 pounds, where Terrence Crawford made his debut at, is a somebody. Yeah. You just want to Inoue's hose, bro. It is what it is. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you swallow slow. I'm sure Inoue likes that. Facts, Doc. The Bud haters. Bro, so stupid irony. The man just came in here and told me that Bud's... I can't make this up. I can't make this up, man. You can't make this up, bro. That's why hate is a strong emotion, because it blinds you. Hate overpowers all your other senses, and you look like a dumbass. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's so easy. I love when people come in here with ignorant stuff, because I love it. To me, it emphasizes my strengths, and my strengths is having common sense. That's my strength. That's my strength is fairness, consistency, and common fucking sense. That's my strength. So I love when the goofies come in here, because it's so easy to make you look goofy. First of all, you help me do it. You look goofy yourself. But then, you know what I'm saying? You gonna come tell me TJ Doheny is somebody, but Sean Porter's nobody. Jeff Hearn off of a robbery. It wasn't Jeff Hearn's fault. You know, fighters fight, judges judge. Jeff Hearn was a beneficiary of a robbery. Manny Pacquiao beat Jeff Hearn. Jeff Hearn did not beat him, but technically he beat him, right? On paper. Oh, you know who beat Jeff Hearn after he beat the legendary Manny Pacquiao? Oh, that would be Terrence Crawford. Oh, okay. But he's a nobody. But TJ Doheny's a somebody, because he was a former champion, and you don't even know who he got the belt from. You don't even know what belt he had or who he got it from, but he's a somebody because he's a former champion. Oh, okay. But Terrence Crawford only fought one person, Errol Spence, you know, because he has no other former champions that he fought, you know, because Ricky Burns doesn't exist. Yeah. Okay. Hell, if Jose Benavidez Jr., if Inoue fought Jose Benavidez, if Inoue fought a Jose Benavidez Jr. caliber fighter, that'd be one of his best wins. Facts. Tell me I'm lying, chat. Tell me I'm lying, chat. And I'm sure I missed people. I didn't even name everybody at Terrence Crawford. I didn't even say Kell Brook. A former champion. Fuck out of here, man. No American watches anything under one. That's true. Hey, Trent, I would say no American watches anything under 147. they don't even watch Tank. They just watch Tank. You know, so you're right. So 135, I'll give you Tank, but they just watch Tank, and maybe I'm not talking about my boy like Kendrick, and I'm not talking about the real boxing heads, you know, Ty and everybody, Oscar, everybody. I'm talking about the Americans that they just watch Tank. They couldn't name you the other champions. You know, they might watch Shakur reluctantly, but no, you're right. Yeah. TJ won his belt against Reggie. Yeah, good job. It took you 20 minutes to Google it. Good job. Well, how about this? Let's see if you Google this, JK. Did you Google who Ryosuke Iwata won? Can you tell me who Iwata beat? Tell me 3 people Iwata beat. Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job. If you really thought TJ Doheny was good, you would have told me that from jump. It took you 20 minutes to Google that. Fuck out of here. This man said Ryosuke Iwata. Get out of here, bro. But then again, anyway, fighting off-brand members, that's crazy. Breaking news, you don't need to put the other fighter down. Exactly. You don't have to put another fighter down, bro. If you like Inoue more than Terrence Crawford, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Inoue's a beast. He's a phenomenal fighter. But Terrence Crawford is a phenomenal fighter as well. Alexander Usyk's a phenomenal fighter as well. Canelo Alvarez is a phenomenal fighter as well. But Turbiev is a phenomenal fighter as well. Bivol is a phenomenal fighter as well. Gervonta Tank Davis is a phenomenal fighter as well. You see what I'm doing? Daniel Dubois is he's on a phenomenal run. I don't know if he's a phenomenal fighter yet, but he's on a phenomenal run. There's a lot of phenomenal fighters out there. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with liking Inoue. I'm not knocking Inoue, but if you want to say disparaging, and make disparaging comments about Terrence Crawford and speak in a condescending, dismissive manner and denounce what he's accomplished, well, then let's talk about your favorite guy, NAOYA INOUE, because you came in here and talked about NAOYA INOUE like Terrence Crawford has no business being in the same conversation. Last time I checked, they both are undisputed in 2 different weight classes, and Terrence Crawford's weight classes are higher. And you could probably name more Terrence Crawford opponents than you can of Inoue. And you could probably name more opponents of Terrence Crawford's opponents than you can of Inoue's opponents. The first time you heard about Marlon Tapales was probably when he fought Inoue. The first time you heard about Yi Jun Kim was probably when he fought Inoue. The first time you heard about Louis Neary was probably when he fought Inoue. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying you cannot be that impressed if you didn't know the motherfuckers in the first place. So how can you be? I mean, there has to be a threshold on your on the impression it made on you. You know, how impressed could you be if you didn't even know who they were? The man finally told me one person that TJ Doheny fought outside of NAOYA INOUE. It took him 20 minutes to do it. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. He said, bro, I watched the lower division more than you. You don't even know the difference between then and then. So I know you don't. You don't do anything more than me. Except for sound dumb. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the word you meant was this. Yeah. Work on your words before you try to argue with me, bro. You watch the lower division. You don't watch nothing more than me. Boxing Talk, he said, see, this is what makes me embarrassed. He even mentioned I'm a fan of him as a fighter due to as an underachiever, right? He said most Americans only knew Inoue when he put Fulton to sleep. That might be true. I'm not most Americans. I'm me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm me. So yeah, that might be true. But even Fulton, what you're telling me? Fulton's a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fulton and shout out to Inoue. Inoue did his thing. But you just told me that you see look what this dummy just did, chat. JK, sorry, I shouldn't say dummy. Sorry. Let me tell you what this foolish person just did. let me tell you what this mistaken person just did. Right? He said, "Stop stuttering, stop dick sucking." You can't stutter because you can't talk. You know what I'm saying? Get the Inoue meat out your mouth. This man just said most Americans only knew about Inoue when he put Fulton to sleep. So basically, what he's saying is that he's being dismissive of Fulton, right? But he just told me 2 sentences ago that Neary is good. But wait, didn't Neary get knocked out by Figueroa? Didn't Fulton beat Figueroa? So if you're gonna be dismissive of Fulton, why are you so big on Neary? But I thought you watched boxing though. That's why I say you just let the dummies talk. They're gonna be dumb. You know what I'm talking about? Let them talk. You know what I'm saying? Jackie Chan told us that in Rush Hour, man. You let the people that are full of shit talk, because they won't let you know how full of shit they are. This man just gave Inoue props for beating Neary, but just spoke dismissively of Fulton. A guy who beat a guy who knocked out Neary. That tells you everything you need to know right there. You're just dumb. Yeah, he doesn't know the difference between then or then. He said I watch more than you. So basically what he said, he did something before me. But he meant to say that he meant a comparison. He doesn't know the difference between then and then. That's the problem with the internet. You end up arguing with fools. And when you argue with a fool, you can't tell who's the foolish one. That man don't know the difference between THAN and THEN. Stupid ass. Trying to argue with me about some shit. If you have not done so already, please remember to show your support for the show and hit that. Shout out to DJ Harry Love. Thank you so much, bro. Hey, DJ Harry, did you end up watching that fight again? I didn't watch it again yet, bro. Did you? I'm like, that's the thing. So when you have the fanatics come in here, I think NAOYA INOUE is top 3 pound for pound. That's no disrespect. I think NAOYA INOUE is an all-time great. Some people don't. I think he's an all-time great. But what I don't think is that he's any more deserving of a legendary all-time great label than Terrence Crawford or Alexander Usyk. They literally have very similar accolades. They both are undisputed in 2 weight divisions. But somehow, some way, you're going to praise NAOYA INOUE for lesser competition, but then be completely dismissive of Terrence Crawford because you don't like him? I don't like Teofimo Lopez. I can't take away the fact that he's the most decorated champion at 140 because I don't like him. I can't take away, I'm not a big Devin Haney fan. I can't say that he's not undisputed, and it's not impressive that he was the youngest
undisputed male champion in the 4-belt era. Shout out to Gabriela Fedora. She's the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, male or female, right? She's the youngest, period. She beat Gabriela Alanis. She eclipsed Devin Haney, but I'm not a big Devin Haney fan, but I can't take away none of his achievements. But then you got goofies coming here and say that Terrence Crawford didn't beat anybody besides Errol Spence because all they know is Errol Spence. That's just the only person you recognize because you don't watch boxing. And if you're a NAOYA Inoue fan and you're telling me that he fought people that are more recognizable than Terrence Crawford, is because you don't watch boxing either. You're just a fan of NAOYA Inoue. I'm a fan of the sport. You're a fan of another man's right genital. We're completely different. You watch NAOYA Inoue, you don't watch boxing. Because there's no way that you could be unimpressed with a win over Victor Postal or a win over Sean Porter, but you're impressed with a win over Louis Neary and TJ Doheny. Shut up. Shut up. Shut it up. He just said, who did Fulton verse prior to the Inoue fight? I just told you. He beat Brandon Figueroa. Once again, you're stupid. So this is what we do to dummies. We put dummies in the corner. So we're going to toss him. Give him a 5 minute. Because, it's okay. It's okay not to know. But when you don't listen, you know what I'm saying? I don't babysit. Give him a 5 minute timeout. He doesn't even know who Fulton. I literally just told you Fulton beat Figueroa. And he just asked me that dumb question. Yeah, go ahead, toss him. Give him 5 minutes. Let him think about it. Give him 5 minutes to think about an appropriate question. Yeah, because you don't watch boxing. Goofy. Give him 5 minutes, man. This man just asked me who did Stephen Fulton. What does that have to do with anything? Number one, what does that have to do with anything? But I literally just told you he beat Brandon Figueroa. I literally just told you that. I literally just told him. And he had the audacity to ask me who did Brandon Figueroa fight. Who did Stephen Fulton fight? I literally just told you that. Pacheco and Mercado, the real deal? I don't know, Josh. I don't know about Mercado, man. I like him. I like his energy. I like his energy. I'm not convinced yet though. But Pacheco, I've been convinced of Pacheco though. Pacheco, shout out to him with Steven So Cold Nelson. That was a good win. That was a great win. Fuck out of here, Curse. You feel me, irony? Yeah, I got to give him 5 minutes, man. You can come back, JK, but you talking dumb. You got to get your thoughts together first, because now you're just arguing just to argue. I ain't got time. Yeah, tell your mommy and your daddy send me a babysitter check. I think it's like I think they charge up to like $700 a week. You know what I'm saying? They can just give me half. And then I'll babysit you. And but if you are a kid, you're not no kin of mine. You know what I'm saying? You might be a kid, you might be a child, but you're not no child of mine. So, but yeah, Ernesto Mercado, I'm not convinced yet because no disrespect, but Jose Pedraza, I kind of wish, and this is no disrespect to Jose Sniper Pedraza. This is just me speaking on his welfare, I would like to see guys that were champions retire before they look like a shell of themselves and their endangerment to their own well-being. Because there is life after boxing. I know we don't really care because we don't know these people personally, but you shouldn't want to see somebody get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think Pedraza's he's in that position of where every time he competes and steps in that square circle, you're wondering if he's able to effectively protect himself, so I don't know if he could compete in a safe manner. So I think he should retire. To me, he's like Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder, I think, should retire too. Not because I think that they're trash. It's just that, when it's your time, it's your time. And Deontay Wilder's last 2 fights, he didn't even look like he was protecting himself or even boxing effectively. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, everybody's going to decline naturally as they age, but especially from athleticism standpoint. But like I said, the way Ernesto Mercado did Pedraza, good for Mercado. He did what he was supposed to do. But I can't be too impressed because Pedraza, that was the second knockout in a row. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he got stopped before by Gervonta Tank Davis, who was the first to beat him. And then, but then, he got stopped by Keyshawn Davis kind of brutally. And then he just got stopped, I don't want to say super brutally, but brutally enough by Ernesto Mercado. I'm not calling him Tito yet. I could maybe call him Tito maybe after that win, but when I think of Tito, I still think of Felix Trinidad. So I gotta slow down with that Tito label yet, But I think I like his energy though. I like the way he's talking trash. I think it's a little premature, but shout out to him. But Diego Pacheco, I've been sold on Diego Pacheco. I still don't think he beats Canelo though. But I do think I think him and Caleb Plant will be a very good fight. I personally have Caleb Plant as a second best 168 pounder. I think Canelo's number one. Obviously, I don't think anybody will argue that. Even the Canelo haters, I don't think you'll argue that he's number one at 168. Number two to me is Caleb Sweethand Plant. And then number three is Diego Pacheco for me. Before I wasn't sure between Diego Pacheco, Christian and Billy, and Edgar Berlanga, but I would favor Diego over Billy, and I would favor Pacheco over Edgar Berlanga. He said the best reflection of DEI. Fact, we don't discriminate. That's the thing. If you're an Inoue fan, you think that I'm bashing Inoue. But if you listen to me, bro, I promise you, if you listen to me, I'm giving Inoue his credit. I'm just also not discrediting his contemporaries. That's the thing with people. Like they give certain fighters their credit, but then they discredit others. Like my boy Irony, my brother, said it perfectly. You don't have to knock somebody down to big somebody up. I can like Canelo and still like Benavidez. I don't get why people feel compelled to pick. It's because you're trying to live vicariously through your favorite fighter. Somehow you think that if your favorite fighter beats a fighter that looks like people that you don't like, that it's a reflection of you beating on somebody. No, that person that you don't like will probably still kick your ass in real life and everywhere else. You know, that's the problem, you know? Like that fighter's success has nothing to do with your common ass. You're still got to be you. The same punk pussy ass bitch you are, you're still gonna be you. Whether Naoya Inoue's winning or losing, whether Canelo's winning or losing, whether Terrence Crawford's winning or losing, that has nothing to do with your toughness. You still soft. You still soft, you know? So of course you root for them, but yeah, I root for certain fighters too. Like I said, I think Canelo's gonna beat Terrence Crawford, but if Terrence Crawford beats Canelo, I'm not gonna find ways to discredit Terrence Crawford. If Canelo beats Terrence Crawford, because he's a bigger guy, I'm going to give him his credit because I think Terrence Crawford's a phenomenal fighter, but I'm not going to give him as much credit as Terrence Crawford gets for beating Canelo because it's in his favor. I think that's natural. I'm just very, I don't know. It's easy to be consistent because I like boxing. You know, there's certain fighters I like more than others, but I don't like any particular fighter, my favorite or not, more than I like the sport because Floyd Mayweather was my favorite. Jermaine Taylor was my favorite. Leo Santa Cruz was my favorite. When they stopped fighting, guess what? I'm still watching boxing. But some people, when their favorite fighter is not fighting, they don't even know boxing exists. That's why they get so mad because Tank Davis only fights once a year, or Canelo only fights twice a year because you're only watching boxing 3 times a year because you're only watching your favorite fighter. And I just can't relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's a male fighter fighting, female fighter fighting, heavyweight, minimum weight. I'm watching. I like boxing. Crawford is pound for pound number one if he beats Canelo. I agree with that. People need to understand that just because not all comments are positive don't mean you hate, and it's actually the opposite. Thank you, Irony. All I do is say Naoya Inoue is a phenomenal fight. He's an all-time great. I just don't understand how you could give him credit for TJ Doheny, but you don't give Terrence Crawford credit for Kell Brook or Sean Porter or Victor Postol or Hiroyokis Gamboa or Kavalaskis or whoever else. I'm picking Bud over Canelo when the fight happens. I'm not mad at that. Oh, Dark Kent in the building, man. I didn't even see you in here, my brother. Trust, if there's room for money to be made, boxing will be there to tap into it. Facts. It doesn't care about where you come from. It's just where you're at. Yep. That was a good showing for Diego while Nelson shed some light on things that Diego could clean up. Yeah, I think Nelson was a great lesson for Diego. But I hope that's not the last time we see Nelson, but him being 36 years old, it might be. But I don't think it'll be the last time, but I think it might be going. We may see him 2 or 3 more times. I'm putting that there. I'm putting that out there. I don't know. I'm speaking. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Speculation. I don't fight anyone with a similar skill set. 168. I got Bud beat Canelo. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that stick talk. I'm not mad at, like I said, Canelo. Objectively speaking, I think Terrence Crawford is slightly more skilled than Canelo, but I think Canelo is a lot bigger. Excuse me. And obviously, I'm not talking about vertically. I'm not talking about verticality. I'm not talking about height because they're about the same size as far as height goes, a height measurement. But I always give this example. The biggest animal, when you say the biggest land animal, you don't say a giraffe. You say an elephant. A giraffe is taller than an elephant, but an elephant is more massive. That's why it's the largest, a.k.a. biggest land animal, because it's more massive, has more girth. Pause. right?
No, did he?
Canelo has been all the way to light heavyweight. If Terrence Crawford tried to wear some pants that a light heavyweight wears, he will drown. If he tries to put on the clothes of a light heavyweight, he'll drown. So I think that the size disparity, no matter how close it may look from, from observation and ocular proof about them being the same height, if you look at them and recognize that he's just a more massive guy, Canelo is, Cinnamon, so he's been all the way to 175. I don't think Terrence Crawford has any business at 168 or 160. I barely believe he's suitable for 154. So yes, I think Terrence Crawford is slightly more skilled, but Canelo, to me, the weight disparity is much bigger than the skill disparity. I think Canelo is very skilled and he's bigger. Crawford is slightly more skilled, but he's smaller. So I'm going with Canelo all day. But I like Crawford too. Crawford's a beast. Who you guys got this week coming up in Booker? I got Benavidez. Which are some fighters you see losing their O this month? Well, I gotta go with Morrell because I think Dave Benavidez is gonna beat him. Who else? Who else fighting this month as an O? Daniel Dubois already has a loss. Joseph Parker already has a loss. They're fighting each other. Beterbiev, I think Bivol is gonna win the rematch, so I got Beterbiev losing his O. I got Shakur Stevenson beating Kid Austin, so I think Kid Austin's losing his O. I got Cabello beating Zhang. Zhang's not undefeated, but I got Cabello winning, so I think he's going to keep his O because Cabello's undefeated. I think he's going to beat Zhang. Big Bang Zhang. Because I think Zhang, because Cabello, a lot of people don't know, Cabello's been dropped before. Zhang could drop you, but Zhang gasses out. He's older and a huge guy, so he's 42, I think. So shout out to Big Bang Zhang. I like Zhang a lot, but I think Jake Cabello's is going to tire him out. But we'll see, though. Because, he dropped Joseph Parker twice. Joseph Parker was able to overcome adversity and come back and outbox him. Can not Cabello do that? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I think those O's. I don't know who else is fighting this month that I'm missing. Easy work for Bud with film study, capitalize on mistakes and habits. Easy work, stick talk? Ooh. I don't think it's easy. And even though I have Canelo, I don't think it's gonna be easy for Canelo either. I don't think that's an easy fight for either one of them. But I think it's easier for Canelo. Easier in comparison, relatively speaking, but I don't think it's easy for either one. In my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a very interesting fight, like the first 4 or 5 rounds. But I think Canelo's going to get to him, and I think Canelo stops him in like 9 or 10. I say 10 though. I think Canelo stops him because the reason why I say stop is because, yeah, we always talk about Jermell Charlo not getting stopped and Jaime Munguia not getting stopped. In my opinion, I thought Canelo carried Jaime Munguia. Edgar Berlanga, I give Edgar Berlanga credit because as much as I don't think Edgar Berlanga is that good, I do think Canelo was trying to stop him at certain points in that fight. I don't feel like Canelo was ever trying to stop Jaime Munguia. I think he also allowed Jermell Charlo to survive. But Terrence Crawford, the difference is Terrence Crawford's a real dog. I could be wrong, but I don't see Terrence Crawford being satisfied with surviving. I think when he gets hurt, he likes to fight back. He's just a dog. That's why I think he's a beast. But I think that's gonna go right into Canelo's hands. Yeah. That's why I think he gets stopped. I think he could survive if he wanted to survive, but I don't think he wants to. I think Terrence Crawford is a fighter at heart. I don't think he's the type of guy that thinks he's ever going to be out of a fight. This just announced. Nick Ball, hey, shout out to my boy Ryan. Nick Ball says he's coming up to my weight. I'll be the champion, so I'll be the A side. So Nick Ball is saying that if him and Inoue fight in the future, he'll be the A side. Hold on, let me play this real quick. Let me say that again. Nick Ball says if Inoue comes up to fight him, he'll be the A side.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit!
And I'm about to fly away like an eagle. Freak out of here. No self-awareness. Oh, yeah, Clarissa and Danielle Perkins. Yep, Clarissa Shields and Danielle Perkins fighting on February 2nd, right? That's on the second, right, Kent? Yeah, I got Clarissa winning that. That's gonna be a good one though. No, she definitely has a fight on her hands. She definitely has a fight on her hands. Yeah, Danielle Perkins, she looks the part. To be honest, I seen highlights of her. I never seen a full fight of Danielle Perkins, but yeah, she's tall too, and yeah, Clarissa Shields has a fight on her hands. I got Clarissa Shields winning though. Yeah, Canelo, that's crazy. Interesting picks. We'll see if it pans out for you. The only people that have an easy night are the ring girls. Right. Will Nick Ball be the A side in unification? Unification with who? It depends. Who's the most? Who do you think is the most popular featherweight? I don't know. Maybe Nick Ball, because he's from England. You know, England. I think England has some of the best boxing fans. Nick Ball may be the most popular featherweight. You might be right. That's a good point, Oscar. I think the best featherweight is Rafael Espinosa, El Divino. But who's the most popular? Who has the most renown, the biggest profile? It might be Nick Ball. We know it's not Angelo Leo because he just came off a pro box when he beat. He just came fresh off a pro box and then beat Luis Lopez. We know it's not Brandon Figueroa. Nobody even realized that he acquired the championship from Ray Vargas when Ray Vargas been declared the champion in recess. I mean, it had to be. It would have to be between Espinosa because he had the Fight of the Year candidate with him and Robisi Ramirez. But I don't know, man. I think it might be Nick Ball. But still, he still wouldn't be the A side against Inoue. But in unification, Nick Ball might be the A side, bro. But to Inoue though, he'll have to, you know, like Ty said, he'll have to concede. Nick Ball have to concede just like Fulton did. That's different. Is Nick Ball had less leverage. Yep. Nick Ball loses against Ford, and Ford got less power compared to Inoue, arguably lower fight IQ, but younger. Yeah, I don't know who has less power though. You know, remember Ford's at 130, man. I don't know. I think Inoue has more power in his weight division. Yeah, but we have to. That's assuming that Inoue's power translates to 130. Because remember, Ray Ford's at 130 now. So I don't know. I don't know if he hits harder than Ray Ford. I do agree that he's a better fighter than Ray Ford, though. Yes. And Ray Ford needs to work on cutting off the ring. Inoue is the A side from minimum to 135. Agreed. It would have to be Espinosa. Well, I don't know about 130. I'd say 126. Because I think at 130 I think it's Tank. From 130 to 140, 130 to 147 I think it's Tank. From minimum to 126 I say it's Inoue. But you could be right though, Oscar. I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know. But I think the 130 guys aren't looking at Inoue. I think they're looking at Tank. Hence Lamont Roach, and hence Anthony Kakasi said he wanted. Anthony Kakasi was a champion at 130, or is a champion at 130. He said he wants Tank. Tank 135 to 140, Bud 154 to 168, Nello 168 to cruiserweight. I think what it comes down to with Bud is, can he take the punches? DJ Harry Love, come on now. He said, he preaching right now, chat. Hold on. Let me get you right. DJ Harry Love. DJ Harry Love. He said, I think what it comes down to with Bud is, can he take the punches?
Yeah.
From a higher weight class.
Yeah.
Bud has done great up to now.
Yeah.
But he has been rocked from smaller fighters.
Yeah.
So we shall see if he prevails.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's the thing. When it comes down to it, like you said, what it comes down to, and some people are minimizing that. That's a big ass. That's a big ass maybe, bro. That's a big hypothetical. Can he take the punches? You know how big of like we can say what it comes down to. You're right, but people are saying, oh, if Bud, what happens if Bud could take his punches? Bitch, we talk about a guy that's the first undisputed ever at 168. We're talking about a guy that's been a champion at 175. That's a big if. If Terrence Crawford could take Usyk's punches or Anthony Joshua's punches, he'll probably win too. But people say that like it's a small thing. That's huge. Right? Is that not the question? Like if Bam Rodriguez could take Inoue's punch, no crap. We don't know if he could take his punch, right? We don't think so. We think it's night city. If Inoue could takes punch, right? Then that's a good fight. But if he can't, it's night city. If Terrence Crawford could take Canelo's punch, it's a good fight. If not, it's night city. Like people say that and they're so like, oh yeah, nonchalantly, yeah, if he could take his punch, like that's just normal. It's not normal for a guy that came from 130 to take a punch from a guy that's been all the way to 175. That's not normal. So yes, that's what it comes down to. DJ Harry Love, you're spot on 1,000%. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about people in general. I feel like they just say that so nonchalantly, and they just be, oh yeah, what happens if Bud could take his punch? Bitch, that's a big old if. What happens if what if Batman could take Superman's punch? Well, that fight changes, right? Superman doesn't seem like that big of a threat if Batman could take his punch. If Thor could take the Hulk's punch, then the Hulk's not that big of a threat, is he? That's a big if. Last time I seen Hulk, he punched a Leviathan and he seized up. You know what I'm talking about? Shaking like booty meat. Like, duh. Of course. If he can, it's over. He gonna get decapitated. People say that. People be like, yeah, what if Bud could take his punch? Like, yeah. The chances are he can't. That's why it's very. We saw Jermell Charlo at one. Jermell Charlo was not Bud, but Jermell Charlo, like Bud, was undisputed. But Jermell Charlo was undisputed at 154, a higher weight class. Jermell Charlo couldn't take Canelo's punch. Do I think Terrence Crawford is better than Jermell Charlo? Yes, I do. But some people, if Jermell Charlo and Terrence Crawford fought, a lot of people have Jermell Charlo. I'm telling you. I'm lying, Ty? I think I'm speaking to one right now. I think Ty might have Jermell Charlo beating Terrence Crawford. So just keep that in mind. Like Bud fighting Jermell Charlo, I would pick Bud, but that's not a foregone conclusion. A lot of people would pick Jermell Charlo, whether you're right or wrong. Last time I checked, Jermell Charlo, he took one punch and Canelo hit him with that act right. He hit him with that bang, boom, bang, and there was a whole nother, it changed from a fight to a marathon. He started walking it out like DJ Unk. Come on now. Thank you, Ty. What Ty just said right there, 1,000%. Y'all, some of y'all preaching tonight, man. He said it's a bigger if Bud could go 12 rounds and barely get touched.
Yeah.
That's a bigger if. That's what I'm saying. People say like, okay, and y'all know I like Terrence Crawford. I like Canelo too. I like Canelo more, admittedly, but it has nothing to do with that. It's just me being a boxing fan and observing boxing. Look at this. Check me out, chat. Stick talk. Kent. Pugilism. Anybody in the chat. Ty. Anybody in the chat. Czar. When have you ever seen Terrence Crawford be an elusive fighter? Like, I'm talking about to the capacity of like a Floyd or even like a Shakur. Is he a master of range? Does he sit in the pocket and just slip? Or is he known for being a counter puncher and manning up and taking your punch and give you two more, or taking your punch and punching you better, being more precise with his punches? He's known as a fighter. That's why they say he has a dog in him. He's not a sniper. He's not somebody that's gonna. He's not known for outpointing you. Just because he's not known for that doesn't mean he's not that doesn't mean he's incapable of doing that. But we've never, correct me if I'm wrong, please tell me when you have seen Bud demonstrate slickness to the point like a Floyd Mayweather. Because everybody says, oh, you know, Canelo, Floyd, Bud could do what Floyd did to Canelo. I've never seen Bud fight like that. In fact, I see him do the opposite. When he found out he was down to Sean Porter in his corner, he manned up and dropped Sean Porter. When Yuriorkis Gamboa hit Terrence Crawford manned up and exchanged and hit him with two more of them things and dropped Gamboa. He's a fighter, bro. When he gets hurt, he wants to fight back. That's his instinct. Now, does that mean that he can't train and that he's a great fighter? He can do whatever. I think he can do whatever. Do I think he can be a slick fighter? Absolutely, I think he can. Can he be a slick fighter while fighting another ultra skilled guy in Canelo? That's the question. Can he be a slick fighter while having that cinnamon pressure on his head top? Can he be a slick fighter and maintain his and fight against his instinct when he gets touched to the body, or he gets touched to the jaw, or he gets touched to the shoulders, like Canelo was doing to Bivol? Can he still maintain that slickness? Can he and while maintaining that slickness, can he punch back and hurt and not really hurt Canelo, but can he hurt him enough to make him think twice about coming in recklessly? People always say these ifs like they have the answer. Can he do it? I don't know. That's a fat ass if. That's a fat ass if. That's a fat ass if. He's a technician. Exactly. He's a technician. He be in that pocket. He mess around and get touched all at one time. Mortal Kombat like a tank finisher. I hope Bud not just doing it for the payday. I'm not gonna lie, DJ here. And I don't know this. This is just like you said. You hope he's not doing it for the payday. I actually think he believes he could win. Like I said, I think Inoue thinks he could beat anybody. He's a 2-time undisputed. I don't think you get to 2-time undisputed unless you believe that you could beat anybody. I think Terrence Crawford believes he could win. Just like I think Usyk, obviously he believed he could beat Tyson Fury and guys like that. You know, you can't fight those monsters if you don't have that belief. So I think Terrence Crawford thinks he can win. So I don't think it's just for the payday, but even if it was just for the payday, he deserves it to me. Because Terrence Crawford, like I said, I think Terrence Crawford, I think we do him. When I say we, I'm talking about Americans, all of us. Number one, Americans, we don't like boxing like that as a whole. I'm not talking about us individually, but we don't like boxing as a whole relative to other countries. Number one. Number two, we don't appreciate shit. Terrence Crawford, if Terrence Crawford was Mexican, if Terrence Crawford was Japanese, if Terrence Crawford was English, if Terrence Crawford was Australian, if Terrence Crawford was from any other developed country, and he was 41-0, 2-time undisputed, and just beat an undefeated fighter for his debut at a new weight class, he would be the face of boxing in that country. And I like Tank. Tank is definitely the bigger fighter in the U.S. than Terrence Crawford. And he shouldn't be. Terrence Crawford should be bigger. You know, I'm not saying he should be the face of boxing. That's Canelo. That's Cinnamon. Cinnamon earned that. But if Terrence Crawford was from any other country, bro, he would be beloved. You know what I'm talking about? So Terrence Crawford, so even if he is just doing it for the payday, he deserves it. Orion says, I'm still giving credit to Canelo when he beats Crawford. Yeah, I don't think anybody's not giving him credit. I didn't say I'm not giving him credit. So I don't know if that was a rebuttal to me or you're just speaking in generalities. I don't know. But I never said I'm definitely giving Canelo credit if he beats Crawford. I just said I won't give him as much credit. You got to listen, bro. You don't get as much credit. It's like Roy Jones when Roy Jones went up and fought John Ruiz. If John Ruiz would have beat Roy Jones, he's the bigger guy. He's supposed to win. So yes, you could give him credit because Roy Jones is an all-time phenomenal talent, but he can't get the same amount of credit. That would diminish the significance of the guy challenging himself to move up. So no, Crawford gets more credit if he beats Canelo, but yeah, Canelo gets credit too, of course. He just doesn't get as much. That's common sense. I mean, if you have two dogs in the fight and you have one dog is I don't want no disrespect to Crawford, but I'm just saying a small dog, like I don't know, like a Chihuahua. Forget that. No, don't even have to be that small. If you have a poodle, even though poodles are aggressive, right? Nobody expects a poodle to beat a pit bull. But that's kind of bad because pit bulls are generally smaller. Give me, I don't know, a Rottweiler. Rottweiler is bigger than a poodle. If a poodle beats a Rottweiler, you're going to be impressed. You're going to be more impressed with the poodle than you are with the Rottweiler beating the poodle. That's just common sense because, you know, one is seen to have a disadvantage. So yes, I would give if it's a vicious ass poodle, then of course I'm gonna give the Rottweiler credit because he still beat another dog, but it's a dog that he's supposed to beat. So the poodle would get more credit. And I'm not calling Bud a poodle. I'm just, I'm not calling him a poodle, chat. I'm just saying. Okay, let me use two breeds that are more complimentary. Let me say a pit bull and a wolf. You know, let's say a pit bull and a wolf. Canelo would be the wolf. Bud would be the pit bull. If a pit bull beats a wolf, then the pit bull's gonna get more credit than if a wolf beats a pit bull. Let me not say poodle because you know people take stuff out of context. Let's Doc called Bud a poodle. I wasn't saying it like that. He'd be beloved over there, right? Just not in the U.S. while he's an active boxer. Remember, folks here claim Lennox was soft. That's true. Yep. We like fighters retroactively. You're right, Ty. We like fighters in hindsight. That's a fact. Yep. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I agree with DJ Love. I hope he's not doing it for the payday too. I hope he's doing it because he really thinks he could win. And I think he does. I think he is. But let's say, let's play that. Let's entertain that. And if he is doing it for the payday, he deserves it. I'm not mad. because people don't pay attention to him. He only had one big payday. That was Errol Spence, right? So, well, I mean, two if you talk about Turkey. But I'm talking about, you know, with Israel Madrimal, that was a big payday. But I'm talking about he only had one big payday based off the strength and the intrigue of the fight, you know, with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. That was a big fight, you know, off the strength of its own organic manufactured interest and intrigue, right? The other one with Israel Madrimal was because Big Turk funded it. So yeah, so if he is doing it for the money, shit, he deserves it. So most of Mexico ain't going. The Mexican public and media is already going on why he fighting a small guy again. So most of Mexico ain't going. I'm not going. I'm not. But that's the thing, Oscar. I'm not mad at anybody who's not interested in the fight. Me, I told you, I give Terrence Crawford all the credit in the world. I would rather Terrence Crawford go for 3-time undisputed in 154. But like DJ Harry Love said, you know, I think part of it is legacy, because if he beats Canelo, that's crazy for your legacy. But also part of it is the payday as well. He's going to get more money from Canelo fight than he would get fighting everybody in 154-pound division combined, probably. He'll probably get more money from fighting Canelo than he would if he fought Bakram Murtazalev and Sebastian Fedora at the same time. Fight them simultaneously, still get more money. Facts, Stick Talk. Yep, you're American. You watch everybody. Yeah, because we love boxing, but we're the minority. You know what I'm saying? We are a very small portion. I'm American too. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, people like, I mean, how many people are at 12:40 on a Monday are in a boxing chat talking? You know what I'm saying? The extent of most people's boxing fandom in America is. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you a perfect example, Stick Talk. The reason why Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was even a thing is because of America. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Bro, we're the only ones that thought Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is 60, bro. Mike Tyson is 30 years Jake Paul's senior. Mike Tyson had a ulcer flare up a week before or 2 weeks before the fight, however long it was, a month before, whatever it was. He had an ulcer flare up where we still thought that guy has business in the ring. I guess a guy 30 years his junior. Come on, bro. You know why? Because most Americans, the last time they watched a freaking boxing fight was Mike Tyson. And it wasn't even Mike Tyson's last fight. The last fight that they fought was probably that they watched was probably Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones. Because it's so crazy to me how people didn't think Mike Tyson would get tired. He got tired 20 years ago when he retired. He got so tired, he retired on his stool in the 6th round against Kevin McBride 20 years ago. Look it up on Boxing Rec. Come on, bro. He got tired 20 years ago. You think 2 decades later he's going to be less tired? I don't care how many highlight clips that he showed in his training regimens where he's looking explosive for 30 seconds. Those are highlight clips. I could look like a knockout artist if I edit my video and make it seem like I knock out Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, with one with my right hand, one with my left hand. Those are just highlights, bro. We're the reason that crap happens, because Americans don't really watch boxing. We like the personalities. We like the iconic figures more than we like the sport. And that's okay. You know, there's all, you know, icons. But I mean, and to be fair though, not too many people are watching. Like, I don't watch football anymore, but the majority of people are just watching the Super Bowl, right? They're not watching games 1 through 16. The same with basketball. They're not watching games 1 through 82. They're just watching the playoffs, and then especially the NBA finals, right? Maybe the conference finals. So that happens in all the sports, but boxing as a whole is not big in America, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in the majority of other countries, like Mexico, like England, like Australia, like hell, even, you know, just a lot of places, right? Boxing is not only a popular sport, it's like their number one sport. The majority of countries, number one sport is boxing and football, right? Soccer, not NFL, but soccer, right? Soccer and boxing are like the 2 most popular sports in every other country, you know, a lot of countries, you know. But in America, boxing is probably like the 7th, 8th, 9th biggest sport, right? You got basketball bigger, baseball bigger, hockey bigger, football bigger, NASCAR bigger, golf bigger, you know what I'm talking about? So, yeah. Boxing's just not really on the radar. People forget the legendary speech he done. Yeah, facts, yeah. I'm going to eat his children. Praise be to Allah. Omaha strong versus Mexico strong shouldn't be underestimated, yeah? Yeah, so what? My boy Canelo says, I'm not American. I watch everybody, though. Yeah. And you don't have to watch everybody. I'm not here to knock anybody's fandom. You like what you want. You like what you want to like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. But I think it's crazy how people will watch one or two fighters and act like they know what goes on in boxing. No, boxing is probably the most convoluted, complicated, freaking complex sport in existence, bro. There's so many moving parts. There's so many champions, so many sanctioning bodies, so many regions, so many divisions, so many rules, so many exceptions to those rules. Boxing is a very hard sport to follow, so there's no shame in that. But a lot of people that know one or two fighters, they think that they know all about boxing because you've seen 3 Canelo fights. No, bro. There's so many more. There's so much more boxing. Like, I don't know. Like, I would like for Tank to fight more than once a year or twice a year. But it's not the end of the world for me, because if Tank's not fighting, I'm watching NAOYA INOUE. NAOYA INOUE's not fighting, I'm watching Junto Nakatani. Junto Nakatani's not fighting, I'm watching Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois not fighting, I'm watching Gabriela Fondora. She's not fighting, I'm watching Michaela Mayer. She's not fighting, I'm watching Caleb Plant. He's not fighting, you feel me? I'm watching Alexander Usyk. He's not fighting, I'm watching Gilberto Ramirez. He's not fighting, I'm watching Clarissa Shields. She's not fighting, I'm watching Seniesa Estrada. Well, she retired, that's not a good example. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron. If they're not fighting, I'm watching Oscar Collazo. You know what I'm talking about? Down in minimum weight, where he just unified at 105. You see what I'm saying? If he's not fighting, I'm watching Ryosuke Nishida, another champion at 118 with Junto Nakatani. So I have no I barely have I don't care if you fighting in America, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Nigeria, England. I'm watching, bro, because I really like boxing. So there's sometimes there are shortages of fights. Don't get me wrong, of course, but it's not as there's not so much of a shortage as people will make you think. Like, the reason why people are so mad about certain fighters only fighting once a year is because that's the only time they're watching boxing. That one time. But Doc, that's the all-time prime Mike Tyson. You feel me? All-time prime Mike Tyson. You feel me? That's all the time that prime Mike Tyson needed. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's all the time prime Mike Tyson needed. That's a fact. And chat member 40, you feel me? Don't forget to smack that like button. That's not prime Mike. Exactly. No disrespect. That's not Iron Mike, bro. That's like plastic Mike. Wooden Mike. I skip most UK fights, though. Lots of ability process against journeyman. Yeah. I mean, so don't get me wrong. Like, every once in a while, I'll watch, like, the side projects. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll watch some of the club shows or whatever. I'm not watching all those shows, but it's rare that I miss a championship fight in any division. Very rare. In any division, in male or female, you know what I'm saying? It's rare that I miss a championship fight. We just watched Ellie Scottney versus Miyamota. We just watched that. We just watched Dalton Smith's corny behind against Waleed Wiesa, right? And then later on that day, we came back on live to watch Diego Pacheco versus Steven Nelson. Did we not? And then before that, when were we live? Weren't we live, Oscar? Weren't we live, Ty? We were live for NAOYA INOUE versus Yi Jun Kim. We were live. Yes. We didn't just watch the highlights on TikTok or Instagram, but then want to run in the chat room and act like we know everything about the fight. We were live. That's what we do. 4:30 in the morning while you're yawning, we were live. So there's very few people on earth that consume as much boxing as I do. I'm not saying that I know the most just because I do that, but I'm just saying. If you have not done so already, please remember to show your support for the show. And thank you, DJ Harry Love. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, shout out to my boy DJ Harry Love, man. Please hit that like button. And my ADHD is insane when boxing comes on. If I didn't have neighbors that are almost not home or reporting themselves, I would have been kicked out. Hey, man, don't get kicked out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a room, though, man. I'll give you a room. I got Carmel over Benavidez Jr. Wash. Wait, Jose Benavidez Jr. is fighting Carmel Moen? Stop it. Are you for real? I thought that was a joke. I saw somebody say that, but Tension Nashikawa is pretty good. He's pretty good, but I got to see more of him, man. I got to see more of Tension Nashikawa, man. Doc got that Laura person. Oh my gosh, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Yeah, I got to see more of him though, but I think he's good, man. But who I'm more interested in is Like I said, I think no disrespect to Tenshin Nasukawa, but I think a lot of his not saying he's not good now, but I think a lot of his fame came from when he fought Floyd Mayweather in that exhibition. You know, so that's what Floyd does, man. Floyd is still that dude even in retirement, man. You know, so. But the Japanese fighter that I'm looking forward to watching, you know, Junto Nakatai is my favorite. He's one of my favorite fighters, period. Japanese or not. But the Japanese fighter that I'm looking forward to seeing more of is Jin Sasaki, man. I think that he gets beat by any of the champions at 147. I don't think he beats any of them, but he's interesting, man. He's funny. He reminds me of Jaime Munguia. He's a very exciting fighter. Blocks with his face, you know. He him and Jaime. I love watching Jaime Munguia. I love watching Jin Sasaki, man. You know, because at the end of the day, you know they're gonna fight. So he called out Boots. He calls out the other champions at 147. I respect it. I don't think he could beat any of them. I don't think he beats Norman, Boots, Barrios, or Stanionis. But I respect it, you know, and I like him for it. So that's the guy I'm looking forward. That's a Japanese fighter I look forward to seeing. Probably. Well, him and I like Seiya Sasumi too. He has an infinite gas tank. Seiya Sasumi don't get tired. I don't know what he on, but that man throws punches and bunches all day long for the duration of the fight, from the opening bell to the end bell. He's throwing punches. So I like Tenshin. I like Seiya Sasumi, but Tenshin Nasukawa, he's straight, bro. I think I seen him fight like 2 or 3 times, but I don't have much to say about him yet. The jury's still out for him for me. What about you? What do you think about him? Now, Corbell ain't fighting no Benavidez Jr. Oh, okay. I saw somebody say, I thought it was a troll. Sam Noakes from the UK, he's something to watch. I checked him out. Yeah, Sam Noakes is decent. They both on the card, but never fight each other unless that's a recent thing. But I doubt that. Yeah, I'm about to say, what the heck? Jose Benavidez Jr., that'd be crazy, man. Jose Benavidez Jr. needs to pick a freaking weight class, man. I think like his last 3 fights have been at different weights, right? I know his last fight was against Jamal Charlo at like a catch weight of like 162 or something like that, or 60 something. His fight before that was like at 160 or 154. His fight before that was at like 147. Like Jose Benavidez Jr., I like him, man. But he got to find a weight class, bro. I think he's handicapping himself. I think you handicap yourself severely when you have all these weight classes you're going through, you know? That's my personal opinion, though. I like Jose Benavidez Jr., though. You said I got that Laura birth certificate. It's crazy, bro. Just don't call me a birther, bro. With your MAGA hat. Hey, man, this man calling for my birth certificate, bro. Don't do me like legacy man in the building. What's good? Salute to you, brother. Yo. Whoops. Wrong notification. Salute to Legacy, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Shout out to DJ Harry Love, man. Please listen to him and hit that like button. All right, so I just like to talk boxing, man. That's all. I don't know everything, but I definitely know something. And I'm very confident in what I do know. And I like that boxing just because you could be a casual or a purist. You could know a lot. You could know a little. I don't care. You can come discuss, man. Come chat, man. I love it, bro. I don't think anybody should feel bad, but I do think that people who say crazy stuff should be corrected, because then people don't know the difference. You know, it's like I said, no disrespect to Paulie Malignaggi, but I mean, if it is disrespect, it is what it is. But like when he comes out here and screams things like Canelo is bottlenecking the division, okay, well be just as loud when NAOYA INOUE does the same thing. And NAOYA INOUE is worse because Canelo was never ordered to fight anybody except for William Skull, and he got stripped. He didn't want to fight William Skull, so he gave up the belt. If NAOYA INOUE doesn't want to fight MJ Akhmadaliev, that's cool. Give up the belt. He was ordered. You know, we want Canelo to fight Benavidez. He was never ordered. We want Tank to fight Shakur. He was never ordered. He can't be because they're both champions. NAOYA INOUE has been ordered multiple times, and guys like Paulie Malignaggi, they just ignore that. I think that's disingenuous, and that does a disservice as a recognized boxing media outlet when it comes to educating people on boxing, because you just don't like Canelo. So that's why it's easy to attack him. You don't like Gervonta, so it's easy for you to attack him. You don't like this person, that's why it's easy for you to attack him. But the people that you like, you make exceptions for. And I think that's very corny, especially as a former fighter too. You know what I'm saying? If you're probably not just a former fighter, former champion, you should know better. And when you know better, you should do better. You know, so that's why I make a point to speak on things that are true. You know what I'm saying? That's why look, I never look. It says pound for pound or king of clowns. I never called Inoue a clown. I think Inoue is a beast. He's one of the best, top 3 pound for pound. But a lot of people that speak on his behalf are clowns. That's a fact. He's the king of clowns. So Doc, why hasn't the WNBA stripped it? Exactly. That's my point. Or are you asking me, or are you emphasizing the point I'm making? I don't know. But if you are legitimately asking me, they haven't stripped him because, okay, so remember when he fought Louis Neary, when Inoue fought Louis Neary, he should have fought NAOYA INOUE. I mean MJ Ahmadaliev, but they granted him an exception through the Japan Boxing Commission, you know, saying to enact revenge and stuff like that. No, okay, yeah. So they granted him an exception in order to fight NAOYA INOUE. And that's why MJ Ahmadaliev fought Kevin Gonzalez, I think at the time, an undefeated fighter, 26-0. I believe he boxed with Robert Garcia, not Ryan Garcia, Robert Garcia. And then Inoue was supposed to be next. That was the agreement for them to grant him an exception so he could fight Louis Neary, and then Ahmadaliev was supposed to be next. Well, we know he famously fought after Louis. He fought T.J. Doheny. He was supposed to fight Sam Goodman because after Louis Neary, what did Sam Goodman do? Sam Goodman hopped in the ring against Louis Neary and called out Inoue, right? Sam Goodman decided to fight somebody else. Not Inoue's fault. He decided to fight somebody else instead of he fought a Thailand fighter, right? A Thai fighter, I believe. And Inoue replaced him with T.J. Doheny. That was supposed to be MJ Ahmadaliev. It was never supposed to be Sam Goodman in the first place. Sam Goodman has never been ordered or called. Sam Goodman is ranked number 1 in WBO and IBF. It was never ordered, right, by the IBF or the WBO. But a lot of people see him as a they see him as a viable opponent because he's undefeated and he's ranked high. But so anyway, he fought T.J. Doheny. Now anyway, so MJ Ahmadaliev is mad, right? He's like, hold on, I'm supposed to fight. And that's when they made the threat about taking legal action. So this is where he violated the WBA. But the WBA is not going to say anything because NAOYA INOUE, like Canelo, is a cash cow in that division, right? So they're not going to push it as much. Then, after T.J. Doheny, NAOYA INOUE, what does he do? He schedules to fight Sam Goodman again for December 24th. Now, MJ Ahmadaliev, who is shares a manager in corner law with Dmitry Bivol, they put a motion through in court, and the WBA responded because they had to. They were like, well, okay, you're right. He should have fought you. So now we're going to let NAOYA INOUE fight his next fight because it's already scheduled with Sam Goodman on the 24th, but he has to fight you now. He has to fight you after that. Well, fast forward to this. The fight was postponed because Sam Goodman cut his eye. Sam Goodman was pushed back to January 24th. His eye was cut again. In comes Yi Jun Kim, right? So now that's the third time that Sam Goodman did not fight NAOYA INOUE. Why is it NAOYA INOUE or Sam Goodman being stripped of his position or NAOYA INOUE being stripped of the belts, even though it's not his fault? It's because number one, it's not his fault, but number two, Sam Goodman was never ordered. That's why he's not in trouble of losing. There's no threat for him to lose his belt. The only one that's threatening him to lose his belt, the only one he's in jeopardy of losing his belt is the WBA. Why? Because the WBA ordered MJ Ahmadaliev not once, but now twice. And now that's why MJ Ahmadaliev, when he fought Ricardo Espinosa in Monte Carlo, when was that? Earlier this month or last month? I don't remember. He fought Espinosa, and if you notice, that was for what, Ryan? That was for the interim belt. It wasn't originally an interim title fight, but now it's for the WBA interim belt. And those of you that know how interim works, if you know how boxing works, they call you an interim champion. Why? Because the next fight that you have as an interim champion is for the full championship. So that a lot of people it's going unnoticed for a lot of people. But once they declare that as an interim title fight, that's all in line for saying that NAOYA INOUE has to fight him next. Now, will they make another exception because Sam Goodman got hurt? I don't know, but according to NAOYA INOUE, he's going to fight David Allen Romero Picasso, who's the WBC ranked number 1 fighter. Has not been ordered, has not been called, but he's ranked number 1. He's undefeated. He's fighting him in Vegas. But if he fights him in Vegas, according to the WBA, NAOYA INOUE will get stripped. And we'll see. So that's why. Because I know the IBF, the IBF would have stripped him, but it's the WBA. Right. WBA's to blame too. They're giving him a lot more leeway than normal, Now, that's a great question, though, Ryan. That's a great question. So that's why he wasn't stripped. He wasn't stripped because NAOYA INOUE is a cash cow. And, of course, you know how sanctioned, I know because you was a former boxing promoter, sanctioned bodies be taxing those champions. And it's not a flat fee, right? It's a percentage, which I know you're well aware of. So, naturally, if the more money the fighter makes, the more revenue they generate, the more the harder that percentage fee hits. So 3% on $100 is a lot less money than 3% on $10,000, right? So yeah, they're gonna they want NAOYA Inoue to keep the belts, of course, because that's where they get the most bang for their buck. But MJ Ahmadaliev has been there, and he's been mandatory for a while, so he's been the only mandatory that's been called. Not gonna lie, I came back and I held a session. I thought you was Sherman, cause I'll no, Richard Sherman. I was hey man, this man disrespectful. Shout out to Richard Sherman though, cause the Seahawks.
Here you go.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm tired of that. It was so disrespectful.
I was mad confused. I was mad confused. It was just like the NYSAC, New York State Athletic Commission. They're not just strict because it's New York. Nah, they had a lot of bad incidents that ended in law. Yeah. So this one, WBA, is strict. Exactly. Like Ty said, they don't want, they want, bro, all the sanctioned bodies want Canelo to have the belt because he's the face of boxing. All the sanctioned bodies want NAOYA Inoue to have the belt. You know what I'm saying? To keep them belts. So, yeah, man. So they want them to keep the belt. But once somebody puts that legal pressure on you, you gotta comply. That's a great point. What Ty just said. They're not compliant because of goodness of their heart. Because if it was for the goodness of their heart, then he wouldn't have to take them to court. So yeah, Seattle DB, yes sir. Richard Sherman, yes sir, yes sir. He thought I was Richard Sherman because of Seattle. That's crazy. But Richard Sherman, he didn't end his career there, right? He ended in San Francisco, right? At least they both. Hey, I appreciate that, Kendrick. Shout out to my boy. Yes sir, Richard Sherman. Yep, Ivy League, right? He went to Stanford, right? Shout out to Richard Sherman. It wasn't smart when he was doing some of the stuff he was doing, but shout out to him though. You know, mental illness is no joke. Shout out to him. I appreciate that, Kendrick. Thank you, bro. They all need to be, and likewise, my brother. They all need to be like the IBF, clear your mandatory. So yeah, I agree. That's why Ryan, the IBF gets on my nerves, because I think you should use your discretion. And shout out to them, you know, because Artur Beterbiev was ordered to fight Michael Eifert, his IBF mandatory, but they wisened up, right? They're like, okay, now we're going to give you this exception so you could fight the rematch with Bivol for undisputed. So shout out to them. They learned. But it does get on my nerves that the Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury rematch wasn't undisputed because the IBF is strict. But at the same time, I respect it because these fighters deserve their opportunity. They're all getting punched on. Whether we like them or not, once you're in a position to become a champion, you deserve that, bro. You deserve that. That's the whole point. That's how boxing keeps going. You know, so I can't really be too mad at the IBF when they make Jaron Boots in his fight Karen Chukazan to keep his belt, because Karen deserved that. He's in that position. You know, I know that Jaron Boots already beat him. Jaron Boots has already beat him, but he deserves that shot, bro. So that's when people say that, oh, this person doesn't deserve that. No, you're saying that you don't want him to have the fight because you don't recognize him as somebody in your mind that should get a title opportunity, or you don't think that he's a legitimate threat or whatever. That's your mind. Boxing doesn't operate in your mind. They have rules that they establish and they adhere to and should adhere to. You know, and these fighters that work their way through the ranks and earn that position, they deserve an opportunity. That doesn't mean that I think Inoue beats MJ Ahmadaliev. That ain't has shit to do with him deserving his opportunity to fight for a belt. That's it. Yeah, so hopefully that explains to you. And I have a video I dropped on it, Ryan, where I show the documentation and everything about Kornilov filing that motion in court. I got a video for it, bro. Like I said, I'm very thorough in my videos, man. It's like, and people are just being in denial, you know. Sometimes you can get stuff wrong, and of course, I'm not perfect. I get stuff wrong, but I don't intentionally mislead somebody because I have favoritism or loyalty to a certain fighter. Nah, I don't operate like that. So I have a couple of videos when I talk about it. But check this link out right here. This is the last video I made, and I describe it here about WBA giving Inoue a deadline. They literally gave him a deadline to fight MJ Ahmadaliev. And so when people say, "Oh, Doc, MJ Ahmadaliev doesn't deserve it," well, according to the WBA, bitch, he definitely deserves it. They literally gave him a date. If he does not fight MJ Ahmadaliev by this date, he will be stripped. The president himself said that of WBA. And the WBA president is Gilberto Mendoza. Who else knows things like that? I bet you don't. You know what I'm talking about? But your boy does. Rock with me. Rock with me, man. I guarantee you, bro, we know more boxing than the average boxing channel. Oh, way more than the average. I mean, I say 92% of the boxing channels out there. I don't know everything, but I pay attention a lot, bro. It's not bragging if it's true. Like Oscar De La Hoya say, right? It's not hating if it's just the facts, and he don't be speaking facts. His clapbacks be funny, but they're definitely not factual. What my boy Ty called it, Catback Thursdays. But yeah, hopefully I explained that though, Ryan. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Your boy getting hungry. I appreciate the conversation today, man. We had a lot of great conversations today, man. I appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, no disrespect to Inoue. I like Inoue a lot. But I'm not giving anybody no extra passes. And I'm not disrespecting any other of these any of the other fighters, you know? Gotta give them all their credit they deserve, bro. Excuse me. I had But yeah, I gotta get some food, man. But before I go, man, I gotta shout out my boy Oscar for dropping some color in the chat, man. We need more color in the chat. Keep the lights on, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to my boy Oscar with the $2. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, I'm going to call it. I should be back on for the late show. We talked about a lot. If there's any new developments, I'll definitely be back on for the late show. If not, I'm a probably just chill. But I think there will be new developments. If not, I'm gonna work on some things to try to make the show interesting. You know what I'm saying? Have some interesting topics. But shout out to everybody that came through today, man. Be on the lookout for the new segment we're going to have featuring my boy Ty. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell as well so you get notified when I drop another YouTube video banger and we go live. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We go live twice a day, 8 a.m. Eastern time in the morning while you're yawning, and then we go live again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. So come rock with us, and we drop videos throughout the day. So come rock with the channel, man. I appreciate the love and the support, man, from all y'all, man. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to everybody, man. Especially the members showing me love, man. Shout out to the members, man. Big members, man, for real. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. Remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Don't forget to like the video.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.